morning, everyone. Welcome to day three, Steve Harvey Virtual Mentoring Program. For our first session, we have Real Talk with Dr. Steve Perry. Dr. Perry, take it away.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, I am humbled and honored to be with you this morning because you are part of something that started over a decade ago. You are part of a movement that Steve Harvey has begun. His goal is a simple one: use the resources that he has at his disposal to support young men and their families to develop into the young men that God put them on this earth to be. Now, each one of you is here on this earth to do something. And our goal is to help you to realize that. The way we do that is to have conversations with you about what it is that you want and how it is that you can get there. Success is not defined by how much money you make. It's how much of an impact you make. There are a lot of rich people who will not change the lives of anyone. And there are people who don't have a dollar to their name who will have a long line at their funeral because there are so many people who support the work that they've done and the way they've lived their lives. Our goal here this morning is for you and me to have a conversation. This medium that we've found ourselves using more and more doesn't require or doesn't allow for a lecture. And thank God for that. I don't want to give you one, and I promise you don't want one. But what I do know is that it provides us with the opportunity to have a conversation about what is on your mind as young brothers. So what I want to do, if our producers can help, is unmute our participants. And I want to go around and ask them to introduce themselves and why it is that they've decided to participate in the Steve Harvey Mentoring Camp. Let's start with Derek Walker.
I want to be a part of the Steve Harvey Mentoring Camp because I know it's a great opportunity to become. I want to go to Morehouse College, and I know that's as a scholarship, and I know it's a great opportunity. And it's just good and all.
What is the reason you want to go to Morehouse, Mr. Walker?
Because I know it's a good intern program, engineering program there. I want to be a mechanical engineer, and I already know it's an amazing school. Just having that school, it just leads up to good jobs. Just having that school on your resume, it just leads up to good jobs and all.
Where are you from?
I'm from Lithonia, Georgia.
Okay, so the schools that we run in, I'm a head of school. So we started charter schools in Connecticut and New York. And the school that we hire the most people from is Morehouse. So you're not wrong about that. Who told you about the Steve Harvey Mentoring Camp?
My mom met this guy named, that's my mentor now, Mr. Martin. He told me about it, and he kind of like put me onto it. He kind of like got me into the group, kind of like. I really didn't know about it until probably a month ago or 2 months ago when he met my mom. He became my mentor. Just help.
Excellent. So if there's so many stereotypes about young Black men, what do you think people wouldn't know about you just by looking at you?
They wouldn't know that. I understand because I haven't had a haircut. I probably look like when I'm just in regular clothes, I probably look like a thug or something, a Black kid. I'm kind of big for my size or my age. I look kind of swole, kind of big. So, I probably look like a thug, a criminal. They probably think because, I'm Black. And I'm actually a good kid. I play basketball, play football. They wouldn't know I'm actually an AV student right now. they wouldn't know none of that. They'll think I'm just regular old bad black kid that don't know no good, you know.
Well, I am really pleased to meet you, Mr. Walker. Mr. Coleman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, Dr. Perry and everybody else watching. My name is William Coleman. I'm a rising senior at St. Paul's Episcopal School in Mobile, Alabama. I came on here, first off, I was referred by my auntie and she told my mom about it. And then my mom told me about it. And then, so at first I was like, no, no, no. So then I started watching YouTube videos and I started seeing the things that I can get from the program and just how fun it is. Because at first it wasn't supposed to be virtual. It was supposed to be in person. But COVID happened and just things switched, but still it's fun so far. But I started to watch and get these different like ideas of how the camp is. And I was like, okay, this seems very interesting. So I came on here also because I'm the president of the Mobile Cap League. And I wanted to network with other guys and see just different perspectives of people around the world and just get to meet other people.
Mr. Coleman, if somebody were looking at you, what wouldn't they know about you?
What they wouldn't know about me is my academic side. I have 29 on the ACT, 3.7 GPA. What they wouldn't know about me is my athletic side. I'm a starting varsity player for my football team and shot put. And what they wouldn't know about me is that I love leadership and that I would help anybody who needs it, or not even necessarily needed it. Anybody who I see that can go to the next level, even if they have the resources, I feel as though it's my job to, help them or show them the way, if that makes sense, with the stuff that I have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Coleman.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Pittman.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
I'm fantastic. How you doing, handsome?
Doing good, thank you.
Good.
My name is Gavin Pittman. I want to be a filmmaker in the future. I have been starting out making my own little movie, short film. I enter film festivals and other things. And the thing that turned me on was my film teacher came to me. He said, you need to do something else with your life other than, filming. And then as I got older, I saw other people going to the camp and I was like, oh, that may be fun. And then on the last year, he said, you need to go. And they sent me. And ever since then, I've been having fun with it.
Excellent. Mr. Pittman, what is something that if people looked at you, they wouldn't know?
That one day I will be somebody, when you turn on the TV, you may see me up there. You may see me as a director or producer. You may see my work. You may think that I'm just some old quirky kid that likes to laugh. No, I will be somebody in the future and right now.
So I want to add a friendly amendment to your statement, Mr. Pittman. You already are somebody. You were born somebody, and no person can make that determination for you. It's already been written, son. So what you do for a living, that's how some people will get to meet you. But you have been somebody long before you were even born. So never, ever, ever tie your accomplishments to an establishment of who you are. I'm going to go to Mr. Farrington.
Good morning.
Good morning, son.
How you doing?
Fantastic. It's a real pleasure to see you and meet you.
You too. My name is Makai Farrington, and I'm a rising 10th grader, and I go to Salem High School. And
Salem High School, what state?
What'd you say?
What state?
Oh, Georgia.
Okay.
I'm in Georgia. I'm in Congress. So last summer my mom told me about the camp, and I was just like, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. I want to sit in the house. I wanted to do this, just play the game. But when I actually went, I got a good benefit from it because I just reunited back with my dad, and so half for a period of time he missed out, and so like I didn't really have a lot of male role models in my life. And when I went to the camp, it really taught me how to do stuff on my own, how to be successful on my own. So it was very good.
When you say you recently reunited with your dad, one of the things I want to do is I want to thank you. You know, one of the challenges of navigating Black manhood is making ourselves vulnerable. And vulnerability means showing a side of you that could make people think that they could clown you or make you feel weaker. And what most people do not understand is that the strongest man in the room is the one who is the most vulnerable. All of us can sit around, walk, look balled up, and put on these screw faces. And if you know a turtle has a hard outer shell because there's nothing inside. It's just soft. It's dead without a shell. But the hardest animals tend to have fur, just regular old skin with hair on it. So I have much respect for you for sharing that piece of your story. But thank you. I'm going to go to Mr. Weeks. Actually, wait 1 second. I'm going to go back. Brother Farrington, tell us what is something that people would not know about you if they just saw you.
Okay, I want to be a fashion designer when I get older.
That you want to be a fashion designer when you get older? Okay, that's what's up. Mr. Weeks. Yeah, come off mute, son. Thank you. We're going around introducing ourselves. I'm Dr. Steve Perry. I'm the head of schools at Capital Prep in Connecticut and New York. You are. We can't hear you, son. Still no audio, son. I'm gonna let you work that out. We ain't gonna forget you. Keep going till you get it. I see we got some older gentlemen on some brothers who came to help out. Let me start with Mr. Horn.
Yes, I'm Isaiah Horn. I am a 2019 graduate of Morehouse College. I've been working with the camp since I was 12.
See that big smile that went on Mr. Walker's face?
So I actually met Nicholas at the camp. Had the opportunity to do some work with with Dr. Perry as well. So yeah, I've just been working with the camp for a long time.
Excellent, excellent. I'm gonna come to you, Reverend Young, in a second. I see young man in the red. I don't see a name. Who do I have in the red?
Quentin Clark.
Mr. Clark.
Sir.
Thank you. Well, could you do us a favor and introduce yourself?
My name is Quentin. I'm a rising ninth grader when I was a freshman. And I was referred to this camp by one of my friends' mom. And it will help me out to become a man and like learn a little bit more manners and stuff like that.
Okay. Mr. Clark, what makes you think you need to know more manners?
Because I'm kind of stuck on manners, like table manners and speaking to people. I speak like I don't speak right to people. I don't have like the right tone to speak to people. So,
What do you mean?
like I speak right to people, but it's hard to explain. Like
That's okay. I got time.
I just don't speak in the right way.
You sound like you're speaking just fine to me, so I'm trying to figure out what you're thinking you're not doing.
Just some stuff I need to work on.
Okay, that's fair. I'll leave it there. I'm gonna come back. Well, we lost Caden. He's having technical difficulties. We'll come back to him when he comes back up. Pastor.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm blessed, sir. How are you?
I'm having the time of my life, man.
Yes.
I believe I get to
Yes.
wake up in my body every day. In
Yes,
my
sir.
life, every day.
Yes, sir.
Can you introduce yourself to our group? I'm gonna come to you, Caden. I see you.
Yes, sir. So my name is Nicholas Young, and as my brother, my blood couldn't make us thicker. Isaiah said we met at Steve Harvey Mentoring Weekend, I think in the year 2011, and I'm blessed to say that I've graduated from Morehouse College in the class of 2017.
Y'all just want Mr. Walker's face to just all the way back to his ear. Y'all gonna press this brother's teeth wide open. Got a beautiful smile, man. You keep smiling.
Yes, sir. Please keep smiling. I just graduated from Princeton Theological Seminary this year, and I will be graduating from Rutgers as well next May.
So you just on a tour. You want to graduate from every college in the country. Like, next up, University of Michigan. I'm just gonna make my way to the Midwest. Yes, keep it going. I'm not mad at you, son. I'm super, super proud of you, man. I really am. What made you go into divinity school?
Yes.
That's just pause for a second. You know, as these things go, there are a lot of cats who preach, they never went to school for it.
Yeah.
They don't have to, but I'm just saying it is what it is. Why did you go to school to preach?
I felt it was my responsibility. This goes a lot to the camp. I feel that everyone who I met there were experts in whatever they did. I felt that they all didn't just give us an offering; they gave us a beautiful offering. And so I wanted to prepare myself to be able to go before people and be the best that I could be. And so I want to go as far as I can go as far as preparation.
Thank you. That's a good segue back to Caden. Caden, I see you getting prepared back there. All right, let's take one more shot, brother.
I'm Caden. Yeah, I had to fix the thing. When most people first see me, some folks thought I was a fighter. I'm not really a fighter. I'm more of a tech geek. Like anything that goes with tech, like I study it and I read a lot.
What happened to your microphone, man?
I'm North Carolina.
Status is in question right now. I'm just letting you know.
I live in Atlanta, and I'm in North Carolina with my older cousin because he was alone out here. He wanted me to come down, so I'm using this tablet that I didn't know the mic didn't work, so I had to fix it.
I'll cut you a break on that. What do you think you want to be when you get older?
Engineer or computer programmer.
The reason I asked the question that way, what is it that you think you want to be, is because it ebbs and flows, man. There are very few people who know from the time they're children to the time they're adults what they want to be. Yeah. And the reason why I said, Mr. Pittman, you already are somebody is because it's easy to get caught up in the fact that that ebb and flow means that sometimes you're going to hit the mark and sometimes you're not. Sometimes things are going to go your way, and then a lot of times they're not. And if you tie yourself to your accomplishments, then you inevitably are tying yourself to an albatross, because you will ebb and flow. Things, you will get fired like I have been fired. You will have failures on the job like I have had and will continue to have failures on the job. But when you know that you are somebody, when you know that you are because you are, period. You know that you are because you are, then what that does is it puts you in a position to always feel like you are somebody.
Yeah.
I'll share with you a quick story. Before I was on CNN, they brought me to a meeting with some of the people who were in charge of the company, the CEO and all these other people. And I went into the room and they asked me if I wanted to work there. And I run schools, so that's really what I do. I mean, that's my and so I had done some things on television. They liked the way it came out. They wanted to offer me a job. And so they asked me, would I leave my job as the founder of a number of schools to come and stand and talk on TV like I'm doing right now? And I said, no, sir, not. And so they said, well, this is how much we're going to pay you. I said, that's very nice. Thank you, but no thank you. And this room filled with just white men and me stopped. They looked at me They laughed at first because they thought I was playing, but then I didn't laugh to reciprocate. And so the CEO of the company said, "You're serious?" Dead serious. And he looked at me and he said, "You know what? It's a good thing that you know who you are, because if you didn't, there would be somebody to tell you." And what that means is when you don't know who you are, there's always somebody to tell you who you are. Somebody will call you all sorts of names. They will call you out your name. They will speak you into existence, into the existence that they want you to have, not the existence that you are put on this earth to have. They will tell you, "Oh, you can't do this, and you can't go to Morehouse because it costs too much money. You can't be a fashion designer because ain't nobody from here ever been a fashion designer. You can't be a filmmaker because it's never been done before." But when you know who you are, when you really know who you are, then it does not matter what anyone tells you.
Right.
Doesn't matter what anyone tells you. You will be who you are put on this earth to be. And the reason why when Pastor Young asked me how I'm doing, I said I'm having the time of my life, is because I only got one life to live. And I'm on this side of the dirt. Most people who've been born are on the other side of the dirt. It's just simple math. There are more dead people than there are living people. So I'm among a minority that I'm happy to be among. I don't know what the other side is like. I hear some good stories about it, but I hear it doesn't go well for everybody. So as long as I'm on this side of the dirt, I'm having the time of my life, which means I'm on this earth to make the very, very best of myself and what I do. I want to take a second and come back. I want to not just reintroduce myself, but reintroduce why we're here. I'm Dr. Steve Perry. I'm the founder and head of schools at Capital Prep Schools. And the reason why we opened our own schools is because I'm not going to trust any other community to educate my children. Period. I don't trust anybody with my kids. I'm that father. My sons, my oldest is 17, my youngest is 14. They could count on their hands how many times they stayed at somebody else's house. Same is true about education. I'm not putting my kids' education in anybody else's hands. So I want you to understand that we're here to educate you and to learn from you. Mr. Walker, tell me what it is that grown people don't know that we need to know.
What grown people don't know that y'all need to know? I feel like grown people need to know that, you know, kids are gonna make mistakes. Like my mom, she thinks I'm perfect or something. I know I'm gonna make mistakes. She needs to know that I'm gonna make more mistakes, you know, because if I make one mistake, she just spaz out on me. She goes off on me. I can't even, like, if I'm outside later than like 8 o'clock or something, she'll go off. "You need to be inside. You going to your dad's," just going off on me for no reason. It's just, she just needs to know I'm not gonna be perfect. I'm gonna need a little more space. I need a little more freedom from her sometimes.
Okay, you want freedom. You want Juneteenth. So, Mr. Farrington, what is that grown people don't know about what y'all are dealing with that we need to know?
Like, I know and come from my own problems. Like, some people could, you know, all right. So you know how people have social media and they try to compare themselves to this person, so they try to do everything they can to be like this person, and it might go to a disaster. And then they're like, "Oh, I wish I could have this. I wish I could have that." And then that leads into sort of a depression type of thing, and it just like it leads to a whole another dark place. So it's a lot. And also, I mean, most kids go through bullying, but I mean, at times it does get out of hand to where people end up committing suicide. That's one thing too.
Thank you. So has that ever happened to you, where you tried to be like somebody you saw on social media?
No, I mean, I know people that have, but mean, try to do myself, believe my team.
Okay. Okay. See my brother Jeezy. What's happening, man? I see we had another young man join. I'm sorry, son. I can't see your name.
Joshua Smoot.
How we doing, Mr.
Jeremiah.
Smoot?
Yes, I am Jeremiah Smoot, rising freshman attending Morehouse College. And it's nice to meet you guys. I was having technical difficulties. That's why I'm here right now. But yeah.
Okay. One of the questions that I asked the young men, but I'm gonna actually go to Reverend Young about this one. Reverend Young, when people see you, what don't they know?
This is a great question, Dr. Perry. I can only imagine that when people look at me, they don't see that I serve people on a day in and day out basis. I'm in hospital rooms. When I walk through the Walmart or I walk through the mall, I'm on the sidewalk. People don't see somebody who prays with grandmothers and is with people when their children are born or at funerals and holding hands. People don't see me in the classroom. People don't know I do research. People don't know I'm a volunteer fireman. They don't see any of that. They just see a young Black male.
The reason I asked you, Pastor Young, that question is because when someone like Mr. Walker, who's in high school, answers that question, I think there's a part of him that thinks that once he gets somewhere, people are going to stop looking at him that way.
Oh, no.
Never.
Oh, yeah, not at all. And I appreciated the way you said that he is somebody. When you woke up this morning, somebody, my brother, when you woke up on this side of the green, this side of the Jordan, you woke up somebody with a chance to not only change the world, but to be exactly who you were created to be. You know, that's never going to stop. I get pulled over all the time. I could have 1 million degrees. I'm still going to get pulled over. I could do 1 million things in the world. I'm still going to be profiled, unfortunately. But that doesn't take away the beauty that is within me. That doesn't take away my value. It's ultimately not defined by what people see, but who I am and who my Creator made me to be.
Speak well, y'all.
So, Caden, you heard me ask everyone what it is that people see in them versus what it is that's there. I think you mentioned that you're a tech geek, though your mic was whack. I can't let it go, son. You just know. But what I think is important is that you understand that what you like now may or may not be what you become, but who you are is the foundation of who you will be.
Right.
What I tell my sons, Mr. Coleman, is I just want you to be good dudes. I want you to be the man that your boy calls and says, "Can you help my sister move?" And you ain't over there trying to holler at her. You just move her. You just do that. And then you find out that she lives on the 3rd floor and ain't no elevator. You got to move a couch because ain't no good way to hold a couch. You don't sit and complain. You don't make a big deal out of it. He doesn't owe you his next of kin. You just do it.
Yeah,
right.
You sound to me, son, like you want to be a good dude. Like that's what you're working towards. Tell me what it is inside you that inspires you to be that at such a young age.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go down the list. I'm gonna just be honest with you. From when I was born, I never had a father figure in my life. Well, not necessarily never had. He would come and dabble in sometimes, but he never was really there. I never really learned anything from him. Well, at least at first, I didn't think I learned anything. Later on down the line, I actually did learn something. But I never really got anything from a father figure. So it wasn't until I joined the Kappa League that I started to get a sense of like a fatherhood. My mentor, Dr. Cunningham, Dr. Carl G. Cunningham, he was there. He really did help me find my way, and he taught me the things that I didn't know about being a man, because my mom can't teach me everything. She can't teach you everything. That happened. Also, I had a baby brother when I was in 8th grade, and he passed. And he was mentally challenged. And so what happened after just seeing, like, going to the doctors and hearing people say, oh, he won't be able to do this, oh, he won't be able to do that, it just made me realize he's not the only person in the world that's like this. And I know how I felt about it, and I know I would not want anybody else to feel that way. So I was like, I'm gonna make it my duty from here on out to try and change the way mentally challenged people are viewed, or how, I can't go and hang out with them because this, or they can't sit at my table because of that. And I just really didn't, like, my entire view changed after that. Let's see, it's a lot of stuff, but just
We're gonna come back to you. I got my man Jeezy on.
What up, though? Morning, good morning, fellas. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Jeezy,
How you doing, brother Steve? How you feeling?
I'm having the time of my life, brother. I'm on the right side.
I see you talking that talk early this morning. I love it. I love it.
Look, you wake up in the middle of the night. This is what I do. Last night we had our own Juneteenth. I had some brothers come by the crib. I had to ask my wife to leave, which ain't really easy to ask your wife to leave her own house.
That's right.
I just want to let you know, a lot of negotiations went into that. I think I should have been negotiating the Geneva settlement, because I got my wife to go out the house, just let men have time for men. And this is part of that. We're continuing down this road. Jeezy, one of the things I asked these young men, he heard me ask them, when people see you, because now they see, you ain't just seen, like, you're known. When
Right.
people see you, what don't they know about you?
That I'm well-traveled, that I've lived and been a lot of places that, you just don't go, that I understand a lot of cultures. That's on the top end. I don't think they know I'm very educated, even though I dropped out of school in 8th grade and got my GED while I was in a youth camp. I'm very educated. I just didn't have the time when I was younger because of my circumstances. I was trying to put my sisters through school and take care of my mother. And so, I've been a man for a long time, maybe since the age of 13. So I'm very responsible. I'm on point. I'm on top of my game. Very ambitious, outgoing.
Right.
And always been that way. But it's just like when people see you, they look at the circumstances you come from, and they automatically just draw, that same picture. He's from the hood. He's a problem. And I spent most of my life trying to fix other people's problems. That's who I am as a person at heart.
That for a second. What do you mean by that? You spent most of your life trying to fix other people's problems.
Well, just trying to take care of people. I've always been the breadwinner, one way or another. I've always been the mediator. I've always been the glue. I've always been the person that you can call. When they say you got to call and check on your strong friend sometime too, to make sure he's okay. I'm that guy. I got, my range is from the top, and not for bragging rights, but I know, billionaires to guys that still standing on the block now, and I talk to everybody still frequently to these days. And it's just like these people from the top to the bottom still ask me for advice about life, because that's what I understand. I had to learn that was my gift. My gift is I understand life. I understand adversity. And that's how I was able to, maneuver my way through life. Because to me, it's like a game that I don't ever want to lose. So every day I get up, I know I got to prepare for this video game. I know some of y'all probably play the man or whatever, but that's how I live life. It's like, I got to win today. I got to win again, because that's what's going to keep me. Not meaning that I have to gain something, is I have to learn, I have to educate myself, and I got to be on point, because I don't just have a single talent. I got into music because I studied it. I learned it. I was like, wow, okay, I can do this. I'm living like this. And that's how I was able to get into it and then flip it to other things, because that wasn't the end all be all for me. So I think the most part people don't understand about me is I'm one of them type of people that if you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it 3 times and take a picture. That's what gets me going. You know what I mean? That's my vice. That's my thing. That's my high, if you will. So I think they don't see that. They don't see me coming, because a lot of times, Brother Steve, People, I've got my way into Fortune 500 companies and made these people so much, just so much bigger because I understand how to get from point A to Z because I had to learn that coming from the streets. And it's a simple line. You just walk it, you walk it, you walk it and you walk it straight and you keep your head up and your chest out and you don't let nothing deter you because you got to get there and you do it with integrity. And they don't see that. And when they sit in the room and they propose all these things and you go, no, it's simple. All we got to do is this. And they look at you and they go, how do you know that? And I said, because this is how we survive where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So they don't get what we're built with. And let me say this, like when I look at the greats, the Oprahs, the Tyler Perry's, anybody you respect, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand you got everything in you that they had in them to get to where they at. You got it. It's our gift. By the way, it's a gift and a curse. Because like Reverend Nicholas was saying, it still comes with the territory now. I mean, I don't not get pulled over and get treated like I'm not Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? But when I walk into a boardroom, I get love because I got a track record of being, determined. Like, no, we're gonna get this done. And I don't let things shift me because I learned coming from where I came from, that if you let things shift you, you might lose the game. And the difference between us and them is if we lose in real life. You don't get a game over and then put another quarter in and get a start again. You know what I'm saying? It don't work like that for us.
Right.
Joe Age on the quarter reference there, Jeezy.
Right.
So young men, I'm gonna come to y'all in a second because I'm gonna ask you to ask Jeezy some questions in a moment. But what was the prediction for you as an 8th grade dropout who was in a camp? Like, how was this thing supposed to end?
Well, let me tell you this. So we just put you in perspective. My mother and my sister, my brother died when he was born, so that led me to be the oldest boy. My sister's very smart, always been smart, always will be smart. It's crazy. And my mother, and we lived in a single wide trailer. That I actually got up on the money and paid $3,500 for the place that we lived in. Cash it out. This was our trailer. If the wind blew, it would blow it down 10 times. It was that serious. And what was your question again? I'm painting the.
You're going good. So right. Where was your life supposed to end?
Like, okay, got it. My life was supposed to end there. My grandmother, when we lived with my grandmother, we came up in the town. The population was, when my mother and father divorced, we moved back with my grandmother, which was a town right outside of Atlanta, and the population was 4,000. I was supposed to stay there. And I remember sitting on my auntie's porch and looking at the mailbox and like, how do I get past his mailbox? There's gonna be a lot of steps. And that was going on in my head every day. And everybody around me was kind of cool with the circumstances. And I was like, I ain't supposed to be here. I can't be here. And I gotta figure this out for my mom and my sister. And then I just started making my moves, and they were so small. And I was supposed to be right there on that porch. Even when I go back to visit, I see how people look at me that know me for real and know my heart and know what I put into this and go, man, like you was, because I used to tell them, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna be big. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And everybody like, just put it this way, just to put it in perspective, not materialistic. But when they was thinking about, Jordans as a shoe, I was trying to be Michael Jordan. And it ain't have to be basketball. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be the guy.
Right. One of the things that you just said that moved me is the imagery of getting past the
mailbox. Yeah.
Y'all got to understand the difference between people who make it and people who don't are those who have what we lightly refer to as vision.
Correct.
They're looking.
Correct.
Somewhere.
Correct. And if you don't, that's the thing. See, I had to really realize that a lot of people that I came up with, they didn't have a vision. It was already set for them. I was born here. I grew up here. My daddy lived here. My mama lived here. My brother, he worked down the street at the McDonald's. He cool with that. I'm gonna get me a little job doing this, and I'm sitting there going, yo, you only got one chance to live this life, like one chance, and it's possible. And if I had to listen to everybody when I was passing out my CDs, and asking my uncles to support me and buy a CD that I pressed up with my hard-earned money, and he wouldn't give me $5, you know, but then he'll go in the liquor store and buy, you know, a fifth of E&J and drink and sit there with his friends, but you won't support your nephew. But like, don't get it wrong. Like when I go back home for the family functions, he see me pull up right now. I pull up in them big things and let him know, see, I made it, Unc. You ain't believe in me, but I believe in me. Right. And that's the thing, you know, you gotta believe, like one thing that I pride myself on, and I can have nothing tomorrow, is that I believe in myself. Like I know that if I set out to do something, I'm gonna get it done. Now, how I get it done, that's something I gotta figure out, but I know it's possible. And that's what keeps me going every day, because once you know it's possible and you get a taste of it, you can't go backwards. Because if you do, you fail yourself. And the whole thing is just not to ever let yourself down. People are gonna always try to tell you what you can't do based off their expectations. You know what I'm saying? What they think they can do. And that ain't your business. It has nothing to do with you. You got to worry about yourself. You got to do what you got to do for you, because I tell you this, if I hadn't done what I done and being a true leader and stepping out and getting out of my comfort zone, my mother wouldn't be okay right now to this day. My sister would probably be in a bad circumstance. I would definitely be in the penitentiary, or probably in a wooden box somewhere. And all my employees and the people that I've helped through my music, through my ventures, through my business deals, that I've putting food on their table and, you know, make sure they was great for all these years. It wouldn't be none of that if I didn't get past that mailbox. So that's that.
One of the things that Jesus said there that I think is important for all y'all, all of us to hear it, when he was talking about pressing CDs, until y'all sold something on the street. I used to sell books on the street.
Right.
Until you actually been on a street trying to holler at somebody walking in the other direction who wants nothing to do with what you're saying. When you can stop somebody in their tracks and say, can I just holler at you for a second? I got this thing that you've never, that you didn't think about you wanted, that you didn't ask nobody for, that I want you to pay me money to put in your hand.
Right.
That requires a skill, a value that most people struggle with: humility. Humility is one of the most important values that you can have, because humility is the root word of, humble is the root word, but it also can be morphed into humiliated.
Right.
When you humble yourself and you put yourself out there in a place where you know that almost no one believes in you, and I want y'all to understand this. There are very few people who believe in you. I wish I could tell you there were a lot, but there really are not a lot. And it's not their fault, because most people don't believe something that they do not see, cannot touch, cannot taste, cannot carry. And so when someone like GZ or Reverend Young or Mr. Horn, and they say that they want to be something and do something, even the people who love them the most, the bigger the dream,
yes,
the harder it is for people to.
Right.
Yes.
The dream stealers is what they call them.
Right. And so talk about GZ, talk about the humility and the humiliations, because people don't, right? They see you driving a big thing. Ain't nothing humiliating about driving something that everybody envies.
Right.
The road past the mailbox is really, really humbling.
Right.
Really, and you spend a lot of time getting played. Like, if we're just gonna call it what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, you know, off the top, like nobody else is gonna see your vision. You know, your friends are gonna call you crazy. The people around you gonna take you out of your mind. The favorite uncle that you respect is gonna be like, Neff, I just think you should just, you know, go get a job at the post office, you know, and you like, nah, I could do this. I'm gonna do this. And that's what gave me my fire, because I know there wasn't no turning back. And I know I didn't have a choice because I didn't have any other way. And
talk about the struggle, though. Talk about those times when the food wasn't coming in, when the dough wasn't.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I had to make a lot of real life decisions. Even when I jumped into music, I had to really make a decision. I had a way to feed myself and my family that was A1 day one, like it was good, but it was gonna put me where I didn't want to go. So I had to turn my back on everything that I've learned and I knew, and that was the scariest place I've ever been in my life, because I was like, if this doesn't work, what do I sleep? What do I eat? And it's been times where and I ain't gonna lie, because you know, we brothers. I've been in a great situation and made a decision, and it went backwards, and I had to move out of my house, and my house is luxury. Go back to you know, a crib in the hood and sleep on air mattresses and eat ramen noodles. And I told everybody that came with me, we're gonna be straight. But you know, that was a hard time for people to look up to you, because that's the thing, when people look up to you when it's personal gain, and when they see it go down, everybody don't want to stay on ship. And I've been in so many situations where people jump ship. It's just you.
That's what I told you, Chorus.
Right. And it's
That's
just
right.
Things I told you.
right. And you just sitting there. Yeah, you sitting there, you like, oh man, and it like, I had to turn my pain into passion, because I've been in situations where I've taken care of people for, you know, numerous years, and then the minute you tell them no, it don't go the way they want to go, they out, and then you stuck holding the bag. You know what I mean? So that really taught me to think for myself and to understand what my vision is, and understand that everybody ain't gonna see it. But because I ain't gonna even front, like I've been in situations where I had to make decisions like, you know, I just can't get no clothes right now. And that was for 6, 8, 10, 12 months. I just can't, you know what I mean? So I got to go around the homies with, you know, dirty Air Force Ones, but I got a vision though. I'm rich in my head, you know what I mean? I'm rich in my heart, but I don't got it. When I can't, but I cannot go because, you know, now I'm not in the mix. I don't know what's going on. So I can't move forward if I'm, you know, isolating myself. Yeah. So to answer your question, it's just like, it's been times, man, like, you know, it's been times where I just had to sit and just get in my head and be like, yo, man, you're gonna be all right, because I thought it was over. You know what I'm saying? Because
but stay there. You know, it's interesting because where you start shows the incline of the path that you got to go.
Right.
You know, I was born into my family's third generation of poverty. I was in the projects until I was in my early 20s. And there I was, a year removed from public housing at an Ivy League graduate school, unable to afford food.
Wow, that's deep.
So I couldn't, and I was in Philly. They call the public transportation is called SEPTA. It was $1.45. I did not have $1.45, but I was in school with some of the wealthiest people on earth. Now, some people, that breaks them. You look at this other person, they just spending frivolously. You're like, well, I ain't never gonna get that. But what Jeezy just is, he turned that into passion.
Paint my pain into passion.
Right. So when I'm looking at this dude eating, and I mean eating, there's no metaphor. I'm talking about food. People, you say, man, you in really good shape. No, I just don't eat. Like, I'm not, no food. Like that, you see abs, but it's really ribs. Like
right,
that's
right.
rib. And, you know, and to go from a time when you could see my ribs to last night where I cooked 9 racks of ribs in my double wide smoker for my brothers who just came to the crib because we just wanted to build. It requires humility. You have to be able to get past that point where you deal through the humiliation of literally watching the man sit next to you and eat and think, man, I remember when I make it big, whatever big was going to be, I'm going to get a cheesesteak. There was no big dream. I just wanted a cheesesteak, just the Philly. That's all. I want to be able to afford a $3.60 cheesesteak. I don't want you to think that any one of us had it all written out.
Right.
That's not the way this thing goes.
And not even had it all figured out, but that's okay. It's okay not to just to understand that you don't know everything about what you're about to do. And
I think that's one of life.
You gotta go. You got to go with it. You got to go. And to be honest with you, you got to go with your heart. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go with yourself, because ain't nobody else gonna hold your hand. Ain't nobody else gonna come. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody finna throw you no package with everything you need in it. It's just like you gotta make your own. You gotta jump, and you gotta know that you don't need a parachute, because you got to make it. You got to make it. You know, you don't have a choice. And that's the thing that I think we got to understand. Like, you know, and what I've learned in my life is that if you take the time to understand something, it might take you a while to get there. Like, and he said humiliation. You know how many times I gave people CDs and they would laugh at me, or how many times I've been outside of a club and trying to sell my CDs and somebody like, yo, man, come on, bro. What you know, I've been, by the way, I got one better for you. I've been in car with girls, you know, and she's like, who is that? And I'm like, oh, that's me. That's my, oh man, turn it off. You got that new, you know, you like, man, you feel me? Like, that's like, or you at a party and everybody playing, you know, everything that's new that just came out. And you standing right there, like, yo, why y'all won't support me? You know what I'm saying? And I believe in my dream. So I just had to keep pushing. But to Dr. Perry's point, you know, nobody's gonna come out of nowhere and save you. So you got to take whatever they give you, and you got to make that your rocket fuel, your jet fuel, because that's what you got. You got that. You got the fact that these people are, you know, making you feel a way, and it's just like you take that and you turn that into determination. You turn that into like, okay, I get it. And I do. And by the way, just so we clear, I do that every day right now to this day. If I walk into a room and I feel like I'm not being respected the way I should be respected, I want his job. I want everything he got. And next time he see me, he got to respect me more. I don't care who he is. So like my whole thing is, my grandma taught me treat people with respect, and they treat you with respect. If they don't treat you with respect, go above and beyond to show them why they should respect you. And the thing I got when I walk in these boardrooms and they don't have, I got struggle, I got pain. You know what I'm saying? I got things it's so deep in me and still, and nights that I seen getting up in the morning to get something out of the kitchen and not have to knock so many roaches off the cereal box, you wouldn't believe, brother. You have to pour it out and just sit there and just sift through it and make sure you don't eat one. You know what I'm saying? So I got pain. And like I said, I can have nothing tomorrow and I still got that pain. And when I get up every morning, I go get it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times over, for the simple fact that I have pain. They don't got that. You know, that same guy he talking about sitting at the table eating good, he comfortable. I ain't never comfortable. I ain't comfortable today, tomorrow, the next day, none of that. I ain't comfortable till I can't move no more. You feel me? That's it.
I say to my sons, I wouldn't have liked you if I was little. I would have stole your bike.
Right.
Y'all look too comfortable. And you know, I asked each one of you at the beginning a question. I asked, what do people see when they see you? What many of you think is that is somehow a problem, like that is a drawback. That is part of your superpower.
Yeah.
That thing that scares them gives you that one step. If you're an athlete, you understand. You need that one step. People get knocked out in boxing and MMA because somebody just moved just one millisecond.
Right.
That moment of doubt that they have, that they don't know what to do with you, is your moment to shine. When they look at you and they don't see a volunteer firefighter, when they look at you and don't see a fashion designer, when they look at you and don't see somebody who's gonna make it past these roaches and pass this mailbox, that doubt makes them weaker. That makes them drop their hands.
Right.
Right. And when they drop their hands,
you chin shot.
That's it. That's it. What many people don't understand is that you think that the way that they internalize you, the way you should internalize yourself. I'm suggesting to you just the opposite. You know what they think about you, but they don't know who you are. And that's when they drop those hands. When they drop those hands, lights
over
out.
It's over.
It's over. It's over. So
they can't see you coming, baby. They don't see you
Dr.
coming.
Perry.
Yes, sir.
If I can, I live my life by the quote of the dream is only as real as the dreamer. So anything that you want in your life is only gonna manifest as much as you make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like as much as like this past year, I started a business, a clothing line, a podcast, and I had no idea how to do any of it. You know what I'm saying? But I just knew for a fact that like because you count me out 9 times out of 10, matter of fact, 10 times out of 10, I'm gonna do it regardless. And I'm gonna do it because you really think I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So like the dream is only as real as the dreamer. Like anything I want in my life is only gonna happen as real as I think I am. And if I stand 10 toes on it, then it's going to happen regardless, because like it came out my mouth and it's gonna happen. And I'm gonna hustle hard enough to make it happen.
There you go.
Thank you for that. So we have 5 minutes left. Well, I got 5 minutes left. I want to go with one of the young people who have a question for Jeezy to close us
I have a question for Jeezy.
Okay, Mr. Coleman.
What's up, Will? What's going on, homie?
What's up, Jeezy? How are you?
I'm good. Blessed, baby. Better than most.
What do you say to the people who don't have a vision but know they want to go somewhere, or people who do have a vision but don't know where to start?
Well, people that don't have a vision and don't know where to go. It's like hopping in the car of your dreams with no map, no GPS, no nothing. It's just like you hit a couple blocks and that's it. It's like being on a treadmill. You know, you're spinning your wheels. You don't know what you're doing. But people that have a dream and don't know where to go, I think they should take some time to write out what they would like to see in their lives. Like what's the top, 50 things you want out of life. You know what I mean? They don't all got to be big.
Right.
They could be small. They could just be things. I mean, you might want to pay for your mama crib. Like I bought my mother her I didn't spend any of my rap money until I bought my mother a house, but that was my dream.
Right.
And when I walked in there, that's all that was what I wanted, but that was on my list.
Right.
I maybe had 100 things and I add to it daily, but you got to know what you want. You got to know what you want. And that's the difference between people who just want something. But if you know what you want, you know where to go. You know what to work towards. You know who to be around. You know how to empower yourself. You know relationships you need to have to get there.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I want to we have 3 minutes to the top. I want to let Jeezy close us out. But can you just join me giving a round of applause just for this brother?
Man. Appreciate you fellas. Dr. Perry is always real, man. Reverend Young, I see you. I see some familiar faces in. I just want to tell y'all, man, listen, if everything you see me doing is to show you it can be done. It's bigger than music to me. It's bigger than, my role as a black man is to show you guys you could do whatever you want to do at any time. Don't let nobody tell you different. You got that. That's your own right, baby. Do you. Live life. Live the best life you could possibly live because it's yours to do that. Thank y'all. And y'all stay up, baby. Next time.
All right.
Dr. Perry, hit me up, baby. I'm here anytime. Love you, brother.
I promise you I will.
Sure.
Brothers, I want to take the time to say this. Some people join the ranks of the Steve Harvey mentoring camp with the expectation that Mr. Harvey is going to make their dreams come true. Sort of like and the chocolate factory. Like you just gonna make it happen for you. That's not what this is about. Those who make the most of this experience are the ones who don't look for others to do for them, but find out how they can learn to do for themselves. One another, the time that you have left in this experience, make sure you meet other people. Don't spend so much time just wanting to talk to the people who quote unquote famous or well-known or experts. Look to the left of you and look to the right of you, because the most important people in your struggle are the people who understand your struggle.
Right.
Those young brothers who are going to hold you up and hold you down when nobody else can or will. Keep that in mind, that you are part of now of a brotherhood that has been formed out of stone. And as long as you lean on the right people, you will be where you need to be. So I want to thank you so much for taking time out and letting me be a part of this. Again, thank you to Steve and Marjorie Harvey and everybody who's behind the scenes, people y'all don't ever get to meet, but who are so, so important. I want to thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully it's nice where you are. Y'all down in Georgia, so that equals scary hot for me. But stay cool, both temperature-wise and everything else. Y'all take it easy.
All right, go.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's 11 o'clock.
you guys doing? Good morning, fellas. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good
morning.
Hey, so my name is Damon Lester, and I am the president of the National Association of Minority Automobile Dealers. And I'll have my good friend and best buddy, Mr. Mills. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Damian Mills. I'm the president and CEO of Mills Automotive Group. We're 11 rooftop dealership auto group between North and South Carolina, representing various brands.
So this morning we're going to give you guys just a sneak peek on the automobile industry. I know you guys know of it because you know everybody driving around in cars today, but we want to give you some information that you can not only just drive these cars, but you can also own a dealership and be one of the individuals that own the stores to sell cars to you, your friends and family. All right. So if you can pull up the PowerPoint. Next slide. So we're going to start off with next slide. Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to so Gavin, for the top row, can you tell me what kind of cars are these logos?
A Toyota. Oh wait, I think a Toyota. Maybe that's I'm not sure. I'm gonna take a guess and maybe it's some type of Lexus. You got
That's
a
right.
Nissan.
That's right.
You got a Nissan and I'm thinking that's a Mercury. Maybe not be. You got a Honda.
That's right.
Wait, Gavin. All right. Next one. Hey, William. The next row.
Okay. Next row, you got Honda, Acura, if that's how you pronounce it.
That's right.
Subaru and Mitsubishi. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey,
Okay.
Hey, Caden, where do you got this left side, bottom left side? What you got?
A BMW. I don't know what that is.
Volkswagen, VW.
Oh yeah, Volkswagen, a Honda, a Kia.
No. What's underneath the BMW?
A Mercedes.
All right. Okay. Next to the Mercedes.
I don't know. Olympics.
Audi.
Audi.
All right. So you already gave him the Hyundai and the Kia. All right. On the bottom, where you see the bottom right underneath Hyundai, Gavin, what you got?
Right underneath Hyundai is a Rolls Royce, a Lamborghini.
Yep, that's right. All right. Hey, Will, you got the one on the right next to Lamborghini. Who are those three?
Okay, so it's GM, General Motors, Ford, and I've never seen that one, but it says FCA.
So that's Chrysler, that's Dodge, and that's Jeep. That's their corporate name. So these and all right, Caden, you're gonna finish up the one right above Ford. What are those two on the right, up top?
A Porsche and a SF. I don't know.
That's a Lamborghini.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Ferrari. That's your Ferrari logo.
Oh, now I remember. I'm sorry.
All right, next slide. So what you guys just picked out, you guys are familiar with every automobile manufacturer in the country, but we forgot one. Do you know this symbol?
Tesla.
All right. So what makes Tesla so unique?
It's an electric car.
All electric.
Exactly right.
Completely right.
Car. And did y'all know that the Tesla is the most popular luxury electric car in the country?
Right.
All right, who's the owner of Tesla? He just shot a rocket in outer space like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I know people. I know someone who owns one, but I do not own.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. All right. So Diallo, can you start this video? Let me show you what your future is.
Traffic is soul destroying. It's like acid on the soul. It's horrible. We must go away.
Hey,
NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our.
So what you guys just saw was Elon Musk, the founder and creator of Tesla. He created it's called the Boring Tunnel. The Boring Tunnel is a underground highway that he created in California that's supposed to go from LA to Las Vegas. And the average speed that these cars can go is about 124, 125 miles per hour. This is your future. You guys have the opportunity to be a part of something very unique in history that, and during my age group that we would never, we saw it in the cartoons, the Jetsons, but you guys are seeing this right now. This thing is a living, breathing tunnel that I've had the opportunity to see. I haven't had a chance to ride in it yet, but this is what the auto industry is all about. So the auto industry is a $950 billion industry. Billion. Soon to be trillions, right? 50 more billion can be $1 trillion industry. Everything that makes this world go around has to have autos. Next one, Diallo. $9.9 billion jobs. And so you have automakers who we just talked about. You guys talked about those logos. The automakers provide 2.6 million jobs. Auto dealers, 1.5. And auto suppliers are 2.8 million jobs a year. You have a huge opportunity within this industry, but you guys don't have access to it. So I want you guys to start thinking about not just driving these cars, but have the ability to own it. Mm-hmm. Own the dealership that sells these cars to your friends and family, to rappers, to entertainers, to politicians. And so what I do, part of my job is I help minorities, African-American men, to become new car dealers. That's what I do. And Damian Mills, who just introduced himself. The next slide. Oh, no, sorry. I'm gonna do real quick. All right, Gavin, who's the one top left? What's that?
That's a Bugatti.
Okay. Hayden, what's that orange car?
I don't know.
That's a McLaren 720. All right, William, what's the bottom left?
A Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce, you know which one?
No, it's not a Ghost. No.
That's a Cullinan. All right, on the right, Gavin, what's the one next to the Rolls? That's the Lamborghini Urus. That's the brand new Lamborghini SUV truck that goes at about 200 miles per hour, I believe. And so you guys know all of these cars. You just labeled them to me. Here's an individual, Mr. Damian Mills, that sells cars, that also owns the dealership that sells cars. Next slide. Next slide, Diallo. Damian Mills, floor is yours.
How y'all doing, gentlemen? Good morning. Glad to participate with you guys. I'm thoroughly impressed that you guys knew the names of all these cars, but you knew the names of the most expensive ones, and that's cool. That's cool. This is very important because you guys get the opportunity to to see that not only can you drive these vehicles in your day-to-day life, but you can also own the dealerships that sell them to the individuals within your community. I have a dealer group that has just right at just under 600 employees, and we sell cars every day to people in North Carolina, South Carolina, Charlotte, Raleigh. So I absolutely love what I do, because like most of you, I got excited when I saw different types of cars that I either liked the design of when I was growing up. And so I decided to take a shot at while I was in college, trying to sell cars. And I just absolutely fell in love with it. And so surrounded myself with a mentor, someone that showed me, you know, not only can you drive this, but you can also do this, but you can also own it and do what you do. So it's a labor of love for me. And what I would encourage each of you to do is to find what it is that you like to do, and then make that your career. Because if you go into it every day, it's not like going to work. It's actually going to do what it is that you love. And so I get excited by seeing the different models that come out, you know. Even though, you know, the electric cars are very exciting, but I actually like to see the pickup trucks and the SUVs, and I like to see the performance cars, and, you know, like the Chargers, the Challengers, the Scat Packs and things like that. So it's pretty exciting to see something go from a piece of paper in concept form to being bought off of the showroom floor. So very exciting. I'm glad to be with you guys. Glad to encourage you to not only have average dreams, but dream big, because I started out a lot like you guys did, where most of the cars that we saw on paper, I didn't know anybody that drove them, but it doesn't mean, you know, it's not how you start in life, it's how you finish. So I want to encourage you to dream big, because it takes just as much energy to dream average as it does to dream big. You just get to a different destination point, right? So if you only grab average, then you're going to work just as hard to grab something big as you did to grab something average, because both of them are out of reach based on your current reality. So I just encourage you to dream big.
So fellas, let's make this as interactive as possible. So do you guys know any dealership owners?
Yes.
Okay, Katie, who you know?
My stepfather is one.
I can't see you on my screen.
Your stepfather? What's the name of the store?
It's in Alabama. What is it called? It starts with a C. I know that.
You know what kind of cars he sells?
He sells like Fords. Yeah, Fords.
He sells Ford. Okay.
Yeah.
And I may know him.
Yeah, because he works closely with the dealership owner. Like they're like partners.
Partners, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's in Bay Minette, in Alabama. That's what I know.
Okay. Well, who else? Somebody else raise their hand. You guys know any owners of dealerships? Me. All right, Gavin.
Yes, my neighbor. I'm not sure what the name is. I just know he sells like Hummers and Range Rovers and very expensive cars, but like in the mid-range, not too expensive like Rolls Royce and Lamborghinis, but in the mid-range.
Okay. So there are two types of dealers. There's a dealer that sells the new cars from Lexus, Toyotas. They all have brand new models. And then there are what we call independent lots. And those independent lots are those individuals that sell a wide variety of brands. They may sell Fords, GMs, Chryslers, Toyotas, all on the same lot that are more so on the used car side. So those two are still different opportunities to own dealerships. But what we are trying to get you guys to understand is there's a slew of opportunity for you to make a whole lot of money being an entrepreneur, being a small business owner, having the ability to provide generation and create generational wealth for you and your family. So you can own those vehicles such as the Bugattis, the Lamborghinis, the Rolls Royces, the Bentleys, the Ferraris, all of those cars that you just mentioned. Y'all rolled off the tongue pretty hard with them too. So I'm very impressed with that. But we want you to make sure that you have the ability to not only drive it, but own the facility and the building to sell it to people. And so, Damien, I'm gonna ask you, can you just explain to these guys, how did you get into the business? How did you start?
Oh, thank you, Damon. Well, basically, I actually got in the car business even when I didn't own a car. And part of the reason why I got into it, because I wanted to buy a car and needed a summertime job. So I started selling cars my freshman summer when I was in college, and just absolutely fell in love with the process, fell in love with, what I was doing. And I think, I didn't start out wanting to be in the car business, but I started out wanting to be in business. So it just became a labor of love for me. And I experienced success at it. So that's how I got started. And I actually started out selling cars and grew within the organization I was in. And then 14 years after I started is when 13 and a half years after I started is when I bought my first dealership, which was 15 years ago. And now we have 12 dealerships and just under 600 employees.
Did you hear what he just said? I'm gonna drop your name. I'm gonna drop your age, D. So this guy is under 50 years old. He owns 13 dealerships, and he employs 600 people. He's under 50 years old that employs 600 people and owns 13 dealerships in the North Carolina, South Carolina area. What do you think? It's amazing, right?
Right.
And so what he's been able to do, like he said, he worked in the dealership before he even owned a car. So he put forth the effort, he gave forth the time, and he had the will to say, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to be a multi-millionaire. But probably before 40, D, I know you was a millionaire and you was pulling in well in 7 figures before that. So he has the ability and has had the dream, because you guys just talked about with Dreezy, dreaming and have the ability to see your own future. You may not know exactly what you want to do now, and that's okay. You guys are young enough to figure that out later. But if you dream that you're going to be rich, you're going to be rich. Nobody can ever take your dreams away. No one. There'll be naysayers throughout your life, but if you dream it, you can make all your dreams a reality as long as you put forth the effort and the time. And if you put forth the effort and the time, people will help.
So I encourage each of you guys to, it takes just as much energy to dream average that it does to dream big, right? So you know what? Take that picture of whatever it is you want your future to look like and put it in a place where you see it every single day. So that means if you want a business, if you want, that college degree, if you want a certain car, take a picture of that and put it in a place where you get to look at it every single day. Because when you're looking at it, it's going to find you as quickly as you find it. So you know what? Try it and see. It worked for me.
So within the dealership, give me an example. What do you guys always see in the dealership? What type of people? You have salespersons, you have what else? What other type of jobs do you know that's inside of a dealership?
Advisors, people that suggest cars to you.
Okay.
People who need to get cars for like their teenagers or something like that.
Okay. And with being a dealer, you're also your community advocate. So Damien provides dollars to the community to support maybe your AAU leagues, maybe your softball league, everything that's around any dealership that's around where you guys live is providing a significant amount of money into your area to provide access and opportunity for you guys. And one thing I want you guys to be aware of is you have a finite group type of window of opportunity here where we're in an environment where you're going to get a whole bunch of access to some stuff that I never received, stuff that Damien never received, but you have the ability now with technology to get a lot of information very quickly with the internet, and you are able to decipher this information and figure out what you want in the world or want from the world. I got a question that says, how much money is that a year? Damien, how much money did your dealership group earn?
Well, it just depends. You can have multi-million-dollar dealerships, and then you could have it depends on the positions within the stores. Now, you got various positions that go from, if you want to work in the dealership, anything from 35, 45,000 all the way up to the mid six figures working inside of a dealership. And obviously owning a dealership, there's various different revenue streams, but the car business is not just selling cars. It's selling cars, it's fixing cars, it's financing cars, it's a real estate. So it's really 4 or 5 different industries tied into one particular location, and each different silo is a different business. So it's not just, when you look at it, it's kind of like walking into a department store. You got a department store that's a big box store, and then you have men's clothes, you have women's clothes, you have shoes, you have various different entities within that particular industry. So yeah.
So Damien, for the Mills Automotive Group, for 2019, how much revenue did the group generate?
In 2019, I believe, I think Black Enterprise had us listed at just under $500 million.
$500 million that this man just generated last year. Yes.
In sales. Somebody, Gavin said,
wow.
That's a lot of money.
In sales,
revenue,
right?
That's in sales. In sales.
600 right. Who employs 600 employees under 50 years old. You guys can do this. You can be bigger than Damien. You can do whatever you choose to do in life, fellas. And more importantly, you can also know that you can drive what you sell. You don't just have to be a renter or owner of a car, but you have the ability to actually own it. And as Damien just mentioned, being a dealer, you're also a realtor. You own your property. That's a whole nother different income stream. And that he refused to disclose. See, he didn't want to tell y'all about the business. But but you got a huge opportunity here, guys. And I know we have our time is running out soon, but I wanna open it up to you guys if you have any questions of us on how we were able to get to where we are today. Please feel free to ask, or otherwise I'm going to start calling you guys out. We do have a question. How do you get in contact with, I guess the manufacturer? Just lost it.
Yeah.
What you can do, I'll give my contact information to the producer so you guys can have my information, and we can try to get you some opportunities here where we may have, depending on your age and your grades, we may be able to get you guys some internships in dealership. Okay? And so
thank you.
Again, at least to get access.
Thank you.
I have a question for Mr. Mills.
What state? What state are you from, Gavin?
I am from Atlanta, Georgia. Currently,
Atlanta.
I'm from Riverdale, Georgia.
Riverdale?
Right now, I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. All right, Caden, what state?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
You're in Atlanta too, Kevin?
Yeah. At the moment,
Miami. All right. Kid.
Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit. All right.
Detroit.
Tyler, where you from?
Sorry, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
All right. We know some folks from Kansas City. Marcus.
I'm from Texas.
Texas. What part? What city?
Dallas.
Dallas. All right. We know some folks there. Dewan, where you from?
Right here, Atlanta, Georgia.
You're in Georgia. All right. Jaden.
Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth?
Yes.
All right. And William?
Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile. So every
we
state
like
that
Mobile.
you guys, every state that you guys just mentioned, you got a black dealership in that area. You guys out of Atlanta, you guys out of Atlanta, you know of Mercedes-Benz in Buckhead?
Yes, sir.
That's black owned.
Yep.
That's a black owned dealership. Y'all didn't know that, did you?
Pretty good.
We got in Mobile, we have a Ford dealer, D, I think. Can't think of his name right now. We do have a Ford dealer somewhere in Mobile. Miami, we have Brickell Honda.
Mm-hmm.
And Dayland Dodge Jeep Chrysler. We got a couple in Miami. So you didn't even know that you had minority dealers, and these are black owners of these stores in your area.
Yeah,
So
not
you
at
have the
all.
ability- yeah, so you have the ability to be that owner one day. And so as we wrap up, please know that I'm here to help you. We're here to try to provide you guys with some access and opportunity for our in our industry. And Damien, how many cars did you sell in 2019? This is one of the questions.
20, just under, right at about 19,000.
You said 19,000?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got nothing to say anymore. So I want to leave it with you for closing remarks, man, so we can close it out.
We'll encourage you guys. Thank you guys for getting on. We obviously had a lot of participants, and you know what, man, this is a great opportunity for you guys to hear from a lot of different people and various different perspectives. I encourage you to make good use of this time. I know we're seeing a lot of things going on in the country right now that make you, cautious. It makes you concerned. But I encourage you to use this opportunity to dream big and set the course, the next stage for your life, and understand that it's not where you start, it's how you finish. And nobody gets to dictate to you, for you, what you're capable of doing. You place the only limitations on yourself, and you also could use every situation and circumstance in your life as a reason to grow or an excuse to stay the same. I encourage you to use it as a reason for you to propel yourself to the next level. Do your schoolwork, do everything that you got to do, work hard, and understand that in this life, there isn't an elevator to success. We all got to take the stairs, but it's your job that once you get there to reach back and bring somebody with you. Okay?
Hey, fellas, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hope you learned something today, and enjoy the rest of your summer. Enjoy the rest of the Marjorie and Steve Harvey Foundation camp. And God bless you. And please be safe. Wear those masks, please. Wear those masks.
Yeah. Take care of yourself. All right.
Oh, also, I'm in North Carolina at the moment.
Rock T, take it away.
Yo, we rolling?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How you living? My name is Rock T from the Ricky Smiley Morning Radio Show, man. It's an honor to be a part of Steve Harvey's mentoring camp once again. We're doing the virtual style, of course, because of the state of where our world is right now, but it's all good. Most important thing to remember is the message and the solution that comes out of the message that we're gonna have today. So this particular session is very passionate for all of us right now. We're all tense. We're all a little frustrated when it comes to police brutality. We're all frustrated when it comes to racism and everything that comes along with it. So I'm gonna briefly give you a quick snapshot of what this session is gonna be over the next 30 minutes. And then we're gonna open it up to everybody that's on this panel. It's a conversation with police officers and our young men. This session will explore the negative climate around relationships between police officers and African-American males. Our goal is to find a better way, find better solutions and steps to take when encountering with the law. I can go on and list all the names: Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, Breonna Taylor, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, unfortunate deaths due to police brutality. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it a little bit today. We're gonna change it up. We're gonna take a different approach to our young men, and we're gonna listen. We're here for you. So we want all of our young men that's on this panel today to express yourselves, express your frustrations, talk to us, let us know, find a better way to do and produce solutions than what we're doing. Okay, so we're gonna hold you guys accountable right now. All right, but first we're gonna introduce, we have like 3 police officers that's on this panel as well. One of them, if I'm not mistaken, is a chief police officer. So we want them to come on, allow them to introduce themselves real fast. And then we're gonna bring our young men panel on, and we're gonna start asking the questions and we're gonna get to these solutions. So officers, there's Lieutenant Raines on.
I'm on.
Let's go.
Lieutenant Raines with the Georgia State Patrol. I oversee traffic safety awareness for the whole state of Georgia.
Trooper James,
Chief
Georgia State Patrol, out of Post 1 Griffin. I'm mainly on the road.
Kevin Roberts, Chief of Police, Clayton County in Jonesboro, Georgia. We have a department of a little bit over 500 sworn and non-sworn personnel.
Love it. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks a lot. We definitely want to let you guys know that, you know, we're in your corner 100%. We're all African-American men. We all have African-American sons. So you're on both sides of the fence. So we're very, very curious on kind of how you feel about certain things. But right now, we want to step aside. We just kind of want to be here to listen. So I've got hundreds of questions over here from young African-American males that are tuned in right now, that are standing by ready to answer and ask questions. So we're gonna allow that to happen. And by the end of this session, our goal is to take what we've learned from them to teach us and teach you guys how we can help police them better moving forward, if that makes sense. So right now, I'm gonna call out Mr. Joshua Waters. Joshua Waters, I believe if you're on, my question for you is, with all that's going on in the world today regarding racism and police brutality, one, how has that made you feel as a young Black man? And just straight frank, how do we fix it? Joshua, the floor is yours.
Well, as a Black man, I feel like it's kind of made me feel cornered. Like you can't even live in your own city or do everything that you really want to do without having to be afraid. Like I could be chilling outside my own house and I see a cop car, I realize that I gotta be on my guard because, you know, I live in like a nice neighborhood, so you never know like if they could think, oh, he's probably not supposed to be here. Like I've had like a lot of people think that, even not police officers. And I feel like there's like a lot of anti-Black sentiments going around because people are getting really bold lately too. Like before they would, you know, do like a lot of microaggressions, but people will like outright just, you know, use racial slurs and do all sorts of things towards you now. And I feel like they've been emboldened by the leadership in this country that sort of promotes and propagates racism and racist tensions in this country. And so they've kind of like felt like now they're, you know, able to, you know, say what they really want to say without necessarily the consequences that they might have had before. And I feel like to change the way things are going now with like police brutality and all that, I think the most important thing is that everybody needs to be held accountable for their actions. If everybody is like had to be held accountable for what they do, like all the uses of force that they're using, then it's guaranteed that deaths by police will go down. Because if everybody else can see that you're using too much force on a man for no reason, then you won't be able to just get away with it anymore.
Absolutely, man. Those are some good points. And you mentioned a couple of things, and I want to take this over to Mr. Evan Brown next. Joshua mentioned racist tension. He mentioned holding officers accountable for overly with police force or whatever. So, Mr. Evan Brown, what are some solutions that you think can help our police officers police all of us better when it comes to being held accountable? Okay, I think we have some issues with Mr. Evan Brown. Let's take that question to DJ Culpepper. DJ, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. DJ, talk to me, man. How can we decrease this tension that's in the air right now with police brutality? How can we help our police officers better?
I think it starts at the highest level with how police deals with certain issues, and I believe that the way that they deal with certain issues in the past has not yielded the results that we as the people really want from our police. Because, you know, as people like you, taxpayers, you pay for police and certain services. So when people of color are mistreated, it makes us feel like our tax dollars are almost going to waste, especially when we're killed, you know, and incarcerated for stuff that or lack of evidence, like we're incarcerated for lack of evidence, maybe, or given a lot of time for nonviolent crimes. That's one. But I feel like our tax dollars are going to waste sometimes when we're mistreated.
Absolutely. Quentin Williams, step up.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Mr. Williams, how you doing, sir?
Good.
Okay, we're frustrated right now. We're seeing what's going on in our world, and a lot of the fingers are being pointed at our police officers. And I would be first to say this: all of our police officers are not bad. There's always one bad apple that's in a bunch. But at the end of the day, a lot of the frustrations is, you know, and I'm gonna let our police officers step up and speak, but right now we're here to listen. But from what you're seeing, from everything as a young Black man, I have a 10-year-old son. I'm terrified. He's just a couple of years away from driving, being out there, and he's gonna have some encounters with police officers. I'm terrified right now. So how can you make me feel a little bit more at ease as a Black man with a son? And you're already in that age right now where if you get pulled over, depending on who pulls you over, it could be the difference between you going to college or you going 6 feet underground. So what solutions can you help us come up with?
Well, first of all, I need people to understand that we need to erase the narrative that all cops are bad, because ultimately they are here to protect us. So if you get pulled over with the mindset that you're going to be killed, that's where you messed up in the first place. So we just need people to have hope, just to be safe, and ultimately just stay calm in situations where you get pulled over and you wouldn't be scared.
Man, that's powerful what you just said right there. Okay, so let me challenge you a little bit, Quentin. So you everything you just said is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But what happens when that one police officer, aka George Floyd, that doesn't do exactly, George, we saw all the videos, right? We saw everything out there, and he was not resisting arrest. He was not putting up a fight. He was not trying to fight with the officers or whatever, and his life was still taken. So if we all do the right things, and after you get finished speaking, we're gonna bring our officers on, and they're gonna help us continue to get educated on how to help them police better. But if you do all those right things, Quentin, and you still find yourself in a situation like George Floyd, now what?
Well, then you get to a point where there's really nothing that you can do. You're in God's hands at that point. All you have to do is just comply and hope that God's with you at that point.
You're a bad boy. You're a bad boy. I appreciate that, my man. So, Lieutenant Rank, who we got? William Coleman?
Can I add on to that before you go on? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Go ahead.
To the police who are on, I just want to say thank you, because a lot of people view police now as something bad due to social media. And the person who was just speaking, he hit it like right on the top of the pin, that you have to erase that narrative that all cops are bad cops. That's not the truth. Social media sometimes tends to like morph our brain to thinking something in a specific way, or feeling hatred towards a specific type of people for no reason. And that's all I just wanted to add. Just got to get that out your head.
Oh no, man, you guys are dead on. But at the end of the day, we still have to have this discussion. And when we hear you guys speaking like you're speaking right now, that lets me know a few things. One, you have phenomenal parents that is teaching you how to be strong young men. Continue to stay prayed up. Listen, when I was a kid, police officers rode through the neighborhood. Most of the time, those officers were from the neighborhood. And they got out the car, they grabbed their footballs, their basketballs, they came over, they was throwing football with us, they was playing basketball with us, they knew our names by first name, they knew our parents, they knew our aunts and uncles, and those are some of the things that we always discuss on how to better police. But you know what? Let's bring them on right now. We're gonna start with Lieutenant Raines. You've heard a couple of the young men speak, you've heard their thoughts, some of their ideas, some of their frustrations or whatever. Speaking from the law enforcement perspective, the floor is yours, Lieutenant Raines. Where do we go from here?
First of all, Roxy, I want to say to those young men, I am overjoyed to hear their conversation this morning. They have just given law enforcement a link of hope in what we do every day. Young man that talks about accountability, he is absolutely right. Superiors should hold their officers accountable for their actions. Yes, there's good and bad and everything, but at the end of the day, it goes back to what he said, accountability. One didn't mention the neighborhood, that they come to the neighborhood and you think something is wrong. He just proved that there is a disconnect between community policing and the community. And here's why. One, most police cars, and I hate to admit it, we have tinted windows on the car. So you don't even know who's in the car. You could be cutting your grass, but it would make you feel real good if I got out of the car, Rocky, and said, hey, man, I see you cutting your grass. I'm in the neighborhood just patrolling, making sure you're okay. If you need me, you know who I am. So at that moment, you and I begin a dialogue, a relationship. I realize that you're married with kids, your car is white. Yeah, I know you in the neighborhood. But if I only came through the neighborhood, just tenant windows, never let them down, you didn't know who I was, you're assuming right off the bat that I'm looking for somebody. But I want to say, and I'm sure Chief Roberts will echo this, I am just blown away with these three young men that just spoke, because they just gave us hope in a time where the country is anti-police right now.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And thank you for that. That's a great example because I'm a solution type guy. And you just gave a great example of a police officer rolling through the neighborhood, seeing somebody cutting the grass and rolling the window down, asking them if they're okay, asking if their name or whatever. But if I'm the police officer, I'm getting out the car. I'm like, hey, let me help you with that. I'm cutting the grass with them, because now you drop that red flag. You drop that tension that my young brother was talking about earlier. It's already gone. So now when police officers come up into the neighborhood or come around, nowadays we all get like tense. We're like, uh-oh, even if we didn't do anything wrong, but doing stuff like that, it just drops all that negative tension. And it's like, man, this police officer is cool. This police officer is awesome. And nowadays, when you ask kids, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Back when I was a kid, one of the top 3 things was, I want to be a police officer. Nowadays, it doesn't even come out of our kids' mouth anymore, Harvey. So let's go to Chief Roberts.
Yes,
I know you just went through a certain situation recently.
I did, and I'm probably sure Gavin and some other young men that are from the Atlanta area are probably familiar. But like Lieutenant Rain said, I am just impressed with these young men. They're the future of our community, and I hope it's some future law enforcement leaders in this group. And the reason I said that I was taking notes, I wasn't ignoring. There were some very profound things stated earlier by the young men. Leadership and accountability. Someone said there's pervasive racism, not just in law enforcement, but it's being exposed throughout the country. So law enforcement is reflecting what's going on in our country, from leadership outside of law enforcement and politics and within law enforcement. And yes, I agree. There has to be accountability from the top to the bottom when we see officers doing things outside the law and outside of policy. And that starts with me and my agency. The other piece is the criminal justice system as a whole. I feel our young brothers feel that it's unjust to African-American males in particular, but African-American males and females in totality. How do we change that? We need more Black judges, more Black police officers, more Black troopers, so that we can change the narrative from the inside. And I think this group of men here can change that narrative and change the things that our people are experiencing as a whole.
Absolutely. And you know what that starts with? It starts with voting. And as our young African-American men become the age of voting, expressing that right to vote to get those African-American judges into the offices is so important. So thank you for that. Has Evan Brown joined us yet? Because I know Evan Brown has been very excited to jump on and express some thoughts. Evan Brown, you there? Okay, I don't think he's made it on. All right, so let's talk to.
I'd like to say something about voting as well. When first time I went to vote, when I registered, I remember I was in school and I had went to vote with my mother. Mm-hmm. It was just not a lot of people my age voting, and that concerned me a little bit because a lot of people I know speak about change in office, but then some of them are my age and they don't want to go vote. So that's something that concerned me just a little bit.
So you say say that one more time, because you said something when you went with your parents to go vote.
Right. And it was not a lot of young people. I think the only one my age that went to vote, and a lot of people my age speak about change, but they don't want to go vote. And
okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's help find quick solutions on that. How do we change that? How do we change getting the excitement into young people wanting to vote? What would make you want to vote?
Well, knowing that I can have a voice.
You have a voice. Like this is what this is about right now. You have a voice now. So now that you have a voice, all you got to do is just go down there and vote. If you don't like what's going on with the leadership of your country, if you don't like what's going on with what's happening with police brutality, you have a voice, and it starts with the vote. But see, here's the issue. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we're taught that our vote don't count. We're taught our vote does not count. So, until you learn to break that generational curse of what maybe you have been taught, sometimes you got to stand up and say, you know what, I want change, I demand change. Because if you want change, it starts with you changing yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And it also starts with the reason why I titled this session Finding a Better Way, because I'm holding all of our young men like yourself accountable to come up with a better way, because obviously what we've been doing and what some of the people that before us have been doing is not working, because there's still racism, there's still, you know, police brutality going on. So, you know, feel free, anyone can jump on and help us find out how can we get our young African-American men, our young generation period, excited about voting.
I would like to say something.
Go for it.
So first, I do live in the Atlanta area, and as a young Black man, I am scared for my life. I feel like one day I may not see, you know, I may see somebody that is one of those bad cops and get myself in a situation where I cannot get myself out. And a lot of things that we see on the news when these Black males or Black women or being hurt by cops. They may not have been killed, but they've been speaking out about the profiling. Is the first thing that they do. Why am I pulled over? Why am I? They're like interrogating the cops, and it's making it like they're going against with the battle as words, or maybe they're like trying to yank away as they're getting them. And a lot of times that escalates into other problems. And other times I have seen that, but I also feel like there's not all cops do that. It's just the people that you may catch on the wrong day. And I feel like not all white cops do that. It's just the people that you catch on the wrong day. And as Black people, we're scared. So the first thing we do, why? And it always starts a problem.
Hey, that's a great point. Lieutenant Range, you want to respond to that?
He is absolutely correct. Understand this, the best thing to do, even if they're a bad cop, the best thing you can do is do as you're told. Let's say he's rude, he talks down to you, he's very disrespectful. Then you document his name, where he works, go see the chief, point out those things. There should be video if they have video. Most agencies now do have videos of stops. We do have Trooper James in here who actually deal with traffic stops every day. But report that guy, turn that guy in. But the most important thing you can do, like the chief said yesterday, we can't have court on the side of the roadway. You have to have dialogue in the right place. So the best thing I can say is comply with the traffic stop. Do whatever the officer tells you to do. If they're rude, you document it. You go see the chief. And at that point, if you're not satisfied with the chief, you got a manager. If you're satisfied with the manager, go public with the council or whoever. There are ways to get to the bottom of exposing those that are not right.
That's a great point.
Right.
That's a great point. And I think some of there's a lot of people that are really scared that, you know, as police, Lieutenant Rain, you make some great points when it comes to your job. Your ultimate job is to make sure that that young man or woman gets home safely. That's your ultimate job. But what's happening a lot lately is we're terrified that we may not even be able to get home because of look what just happened to George Floyd. So listen, we get it, man. There's probably way more great police officers like you gentlemen that's on this call versus the one bad apple that's out there. We're just trying to get a solution to find out how do we eliminate all bad apples, because when you're the police, when you're the officer of the law, the job is to protect and serve and be your friendly neighborhood, you know, officer or whatever. I believe Makai, go for it.
Yeah,
And
let James explain a traffic stop. He deals with a traffic stop every day. Trooper James.
Okay, James, right before we hear from James, get Makai ready, because I think Makai has a question as well. Go ahead, Trooper James.
So even today, I had that today where a lady said to me, "Oh, why are you stopping me? Why are you stopping me?" And how I go through a traffic stop is the same every day. And I walk up there and introduce myself and my agency, Trooper James with Georgia State Patrol. Do you have your license on you? And I'll go from there. Once I identify who I'm speaking with, once I have your license in hand, then I'll go ahead and into, well, I stopped you for doing, 80 in a day or whatever I stopped you for, whatever the violation is. And usually if you interrupt that process of what I'm doing, I'll inform you, say, hey, I will let you know why I'm stopping you after I identify who I'm talking to. Most of the time, I have no problem after that. Sometimes they are continuing to press and they'll ask me about policy and they ask me about all those things. Now, our policy is that we have to identify ourselves and our agency. We have to identify who we're speaking with, and then we can continue the stop from there. Now, with the problem, if you'd like to record, that is fine. That's well within your right. And I had somebody record me today who I stopped for speeding on the interstate. So I think it just comes down to, as Lieutenant Raines was stating, is being respectful. And if there is a problem with that officer, it's documenting the officer. And if you do get cited with the officer, his information will be at the bottom. So you'll have his agency, his badge number, his name, and you'll be able to take that up the chain through the proper channels.
May I add on that, Mr. James?
Go ahead.
What a lot of people, not even necessarily teenagers, this goes into teenagers, adults, Black people, white people, old people, young people. What a lot of people don't realize is that when a cop pulls you over, y'all are both strangers, meaning he don't know you and you don't know him. You're nervous, and just as nervous as you are, he's nervous as well, because he don't know what your intentions are and you don't know what his intentions are. So I feel like from that encounter, that's how you know which way the conversation is going to go. When you roll down your window and you say, hey, officer, or if he approaches you first, you know by his tone, you know by the way he's answering, his aggressiveness, his body language, how the conversation is going to go. And I feel like if you feel as though it's not going to go in a good manner, just be like you said, just be respectful. Say, yes, sir. Take your ticket and then complain. But I feel like it's also the cop's responsibility to direct that tone. Like, people are going to be scared. People are going to be anxious. People are going to have all types of attitudes. But if a cop starts off the conversation in a calm tone, that would give me so much more, just like, okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. He's going to give me my ticket, or maybe we talk about it and we can go, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. Because what you're basically saying is it's a two-way situation. You vibe off of your energy. What kind of energy? And this is life in general. Whatever energy you bring into the room, that can be contagious, good or bad. So if you're the life of the party, you come in smiling, laughing, hey, what's up? Hello, everybody. Greet everybody. Most of the time, everybody's going to give you that same kind of energy back. But if you come up and you already coming off, bringing off that negative energy, like you just said, so maybe that's part of the solution. When police officers, when they approach the car, from their end, I get it. They want to make sure that nobody has a weapon and no one's going to jump out the car and try to shoot at them or whatever. So they got to be very precautious. But from the personality perspective, I'm right there with you. All officers should be friendly. They should, have a smile on their faces. They should ask how you doing and just go into a general conversation. And then it's like, hey, oh, by the way, here's why I stopped you. And have a smile on you. And you'll be amazed on how that would decrease the tension almost 50% just off of that. Am I correct?
Rocky, you're absolutely correct. And what I do is I start the traffic stop off, whether it's the morning, afternoon, or nighttime. I say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Trooper James, Door Safe Patrol, and go from there. And another big thing is, where are you heading to, man? Why are you going so fast? Why, sort of, as you said, addressing why I stopped you in a conversation tone instead of you're going 170, be right back. Instead of that robot action saying, what's the hurry today? What's your rush? What's going on? And then most of the time they want to be heard. So if they're having a problem, they're having a bad day, they'll say, oh, my daughter's sick, I'm getting to the hospital, my wife this, or my sister, whatever the case may be. And you'll have a conversation from that point. And as you said, you guys will feel more at ease if I'm listening to you guys instead of be right back with you and being robotic. So, and you have to also understand is we respond to so many different calls, and we may have seen something gruesome right before we stopped you, or we may have dealt with attitude before we stopped you. Is that up to us to ensure that we're treating everybody with a fresh, outlook every time we walk to the car? Absolutely, but we're also human. So that may actually still be in the back of our minds when we make that next traffic stop. Or the reason that I'm stopping you for speed may be because somebody was just killed in a traffic accident and they were speeding. And then you guys are saying, oh, well, I'm only going this fast over, I'm only going 15 miles an mile and over. What's the big deal? But that same speed that you were going may have just took somebody's life from a call that I had just come from. So there's a lot of different things at play when it comes to traffic stops and interacting with law enforcement.
Absolutely, man. I know we're about to get ready to run out of time, but at the end of the day, there's been some great information on this session, but here's that one last point, and I can't ignore, and I don't want to ignore this. We can do all of that stuff, do everything right, do everything perfect, do everything that you're supposed to do in order to respect the officer and just get through the traffic stop or whatever. And then things like George Floyd happens. Things still happen where we lose somebody's life, and they've done everything that they were supposed to do. So that's the part of the discussion that we got to continue to figure out. How do we fix this part? I'm gonna try this one last time, and then we're gonna get ready to wrap up. Evan Brown, and the reason why I said Evan Brown, because I know he's been trying to get on this whole session. Is he on now? If not,
yes,
we'll get ready. How you doing, sir? Mr. Brown, the floor is yours.
Just air my thoughts?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I think in regards to George Floyd and everything, I think we need to sit down, have conversations with police officers, with people, so we can understand each other. And something else I think we also need to recognize, I think what we get mad about is that there are a lot of times in this country that when it happens, like it's an accident, we'll do better next time. They got to realize and recognize this is a person's life. Even if it's an accident, this person has a family. They won't get to see him again. He was taken by someone who's supposed to protect and serve. And we just got to sit down, have conversations so we can move forward together as one united community. That's my thoughts on it.
Bam. That's a perfect way to end this session right here, man. And that's what we're doing. That's why we're having these conversations with law enforcement, so we can continue to figure out a solution to make things better. Lieutenant Raines, I'm gonna let you take us out. I want you to give us really fast just the basic procedures from citizens that we need to do when police officers or law enforcement pull us over, we have any kind of encounter on the street. What should we do in order to try to make things as easy for you guys?
Do what the officer tells you to do, whether you like it or not. Do what he or she do. If you don't like what they do, document who they are and complain about it. The most important thing I can share is make sure you comply with what the officer tells you to do, and things should work out. And those things that don't work out can be looked into to be held accountable.
There it is. Thank you guys for allowing us to have this conversation. Let's not make it stop right here. So we're gonna continue to do it all we can to not have excuses, and let's find solutions. The Steve Harvey Mentoring Camp has been an honor. Finding a better way. Make that be your main point for not only today, but even tomorrow. Finding a better way. I want to thank all the gentlemen, the young men that jumped on board and that joined in. Thank you, all the 3 officers that popped in, Lieutenant Raines, Chief Kevin Roberts, and Trooper James. Appreciate you. And of course, we want to thank our phenomenal big brother, Steve Harvey, for allowing us to be a part of his phenomenal program. All right. God bless you guys. Let's keep the conversation going. We will find a solution. Thank you.
Willie Moore Jr., take it away.
Family, what's going on? It's Willie Moore Jr. here. So glad to be with everybody today. Shout out to my big brother, Steve Harvey, man. So excited to be able to share with so many amazing young men. Just as I scroll here, I'm on my phone. What's going on, fellas? Give me some love. Give me a piece. Tell me to do something. What's going on?
What's up?
Man, listen, bro, I've been so excited. I just got off the road, and I'm actually here in St. Louis, Missouri, at my mama's house. As you can see, these curtains are not modern. Okay.
Right.
Hey, listen, them curtains was there when I was your age. But yeah, man. So listen, I wanted to have a quick, just real brief conversation. Just real quick. I just want to hear just from a few people. Like, how's the summer been going so far? How's the summer been going so far? Give me one person at a time.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
My name is Gavin. You may remember me. I'm the person who was at the mentor camp, and I said, "Hey, can I be your intern for the Willie Moore Jr. station?" Yeah. So really, I just been trying to kick off my own business. I recently opened up a vending machine company. It's not doing so good, so I want to venture off. I'm still filmmaking. I'm doing a lot of filmmaking stuff, but another thing that I'm starting to do on the side is my new podcast coming up. And I would just, huh?
I said Gavin into everything. Let's get it.
Yeah. So it's coming up, and I just want to bring out the word of what's going on in our community and just things that happens that people may not understand. Because of, it may be race, it may be that they're just not taught it. And I want to bring it out on my podcast. And I was just wondering, what is your intent when you're on the radio and you're talking to people to try to get in their hearts and their minds? What is your intent and what do they take out of it?
Indeed. Listen, I'm going to take a quick note real quick. So what's in my heart and mind? So I'm going to get to that towards the end. What's in my heart, in mind, and what do I expect them to take away from it? Okay, got it. Give me another one. Give somebody else. How's the summer been going? I just want to gain camaraderie with everybody. How y'all doing this summer? Give me one more person. Kid J, what's up, bro?
Hello.
What's up? My summer been chill. I'm an artist, so I'm a rapper, so I just been making music, keeping myself going. Behind what's been happening in the world and stuff. And yeah, I got a lot of things coming up. My birthday in September, so I'm pretty happy about that. And you keep asking us how we doing. You all right?
Man, you know what, Kid J? I ain't never been better, bro. 100. I got a 17-year-old son now. I've been going back and forth with these different colleges about him as he goes into his senior year, right? He going into his senior year, class of 2021. And then my 11-year-old, he's in the arts. I'm looking to take him out to Los Angeles to work with Nickelodeon after the COVID-19 stuff is over. I got a 5-year-old who's probably going to be the manager of all of our companies because he's such a boss. And now I have a new baby girl since the last time I've had the opportunity to hang out with y'all, man. So life has been good for me. Yeah. Y'all gonna have to teach me. Y'all gonna have to teach me how to work with these girls. It's making me soft. All right, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like super soft now. I talk with my breath. How you doing, baby? My wife is looking at me like, "Hey, Will, you soft now?" I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm trying to do my best."
No, man, man, females are like, oh man, they so sensitive because I still get into it with my sister, and she my little sister. I'm like, you my little sister. Yo, listen to me, like, oh man.
Right. So I'm learning how to be gentle because I've had all these boys, and I talk to my boys, come on, boy, let's do this. But when it comes to the young lady, I have to be so sensitive. But guys, I've been challenged today to speak to the king in you. Last year I had the esteemed privilege of speaking to you, and I talked a little bit about what I told your mom. I told you guys last year that I told your mom that it was a king and there was a fool on the inside of your child. And if you keep speaking to the fool, that's what you're going to get. But if you speak to the king is going to come out, right? And so I just believe by faith that whether it was mother, whether it was father, whether it was a coach, whether it was a teacher, somebody's been speaking to the king in you, right? And, the one thing that I know about my favorite book, it says that the power of life and death is in your tongue, right? So whether somebody's speaking it or they're not speaking it, it's important that you speak it to yourself. So today I just brought a real quick picture of this little young guy that you may or may not can see. I'm gonna try to show you this guy when he had hair. This was Willie, first year of college at the University of Mississippi, right? So when I was 12 years old, I was at a church service and I did not want to be at this lame church service. In fact, I wanted to be over Valerie Clark's house. That was my girlfriend at the time. But my mama drugged me to church, and I was like, Mama, she was like, no, you need to go. It's this prophet such and such, and he gonna be there. I was like, a prophet? I'm trying to make profit, Mama. I don't want to hear from a prophet. Okay, let's just be, I told my mom, I don't want to hear from no type of prophet. I'm literally trying to go make a little profit so I can take my girlfriend out. But I walked in and this young man, he was actually a younger guy. He was in his 20s at the time, probably closer to his 30s. And he pointed me out and he was like, "You, young man." I was like, "Hey, Lord, please don't let him embarrass me in front of all these people." And he talked about what I would be doing today. He said, "You're going to have the gift of influence over young people." He said, "You're going to be on television." He said, "Your name will reign all across the world and you will be one of the kings that people remember." Now, remind you, I'm just a young dude trying to get to my girlfriend's house. So everybody started screaming. They started hollering. I was just as confused as a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. I'm just going to be honest with you. I didn't know what was going on. But I realized what he spoke over my life at a young age, it would take some time for it to incubate and to come to fruition. And so many of you all, you know that many people have spoken things over your life, right? They spoke stuff over your life. You're going to be this, you're going to be that. The one thing that I want to share with you as a king, right? As a king, because I'm speaking to the king in you now, is that I don't want you to rush into your kingdomhood, right? I want you to understand a king is who you become. A king is a person who develops in the place where they are and they bloom where they're planted. I see so many young people, especially when I was young, like trying to live up to somebody else's standard, right? Literally trying to live up to somebody else's standard. And then that pressure becomes too much, right? When that young man spoke that over my life, I didn't try to become who he said he was because I didn't have to become it. It was already on the inside of me, right? And so what I'm telling you today at this young age, what I'm speaking over your life right now is that you are a king, but you're going to have to develop what you're becoming, but you don't have to try to become it because it's on the inside of you. Listen, everything that you want and everything that you have is already on the inside of you, but you got to understand that it's just in seed form. Right? So if I give you a seed and I say, this is going to be a tree, unfortunately, that seed doesn't look like the tree. But if I plant that seed in the ground and I keep nurturing and watering that tree, we look up 10, 15, 20 years later, guess what happened? We're going to see a tree sprout up. So what I'm telling you, I am planting the seed. I declare over your life right now, right? I declare over your life that you are a king, that you are the head and not the tail, that you are above and not beneath, that God is for you and not against you, that you are made to win, that you're literally going to develop an attitude of grace and you're going to have this power on the inside of you that begins to develop. So we don't care what people say on Instagram. We don't care what people say on Facebook. We don't care what people say on Snapchat. I remember being in this neighborhood. I'm still in the hood right now because my mama won't move, right? I got enough money to take my mama anywhere she wants to go, but my mama wants to be planted right here. So what I was able to do is I was able to buy every house around her, praise God. And I'm not doing this to impress you, but to impress a point upon you. But I'm right where I was when I was your age. And everybody in these streets over here, they were selling dope, right? When I was 17 years old, the goal in my neighborhood was who gonna go from an ounce to who gonna go from a quarter ounce to an ounce to who gonna move from that 8, who gonna get that 36 ounces. This was the conversation right outside of these doors. But I remember what that man said about me. That man told me that I was a king. That man said in front of all those people that my name would reign all across this country. If you don't remember anything else out of this mentor virtual connection that we're having, is that a young dude from St. Louis, Missouri, where the median income in this neighborhood was $17,000. $17,000. Growing up around killers, dealers, and everything that people around you are doing, like nothing new is under the sun. But I made a cognizant decision to do one thing, I believe. And then listen, watch this. I had a mother. Let me see if I got a picture of mama in here, or I might have her come in here real quick. But I had a mom who worked so hard. So my mom right now, don't tell her I told her this because it's a lot of people on here, but my mom is 70-some years old. I think she's 78 years old. My mom adopted me when I was 3 months old. I've never met anybody in my biological family. But when I looked at the sacrifice that my mama had made, right, I realized that I couldn't be like the rest of these kids that were in this neighborhood attempting to be like everybody else. Hey, Kid J, 100, I was a musician too. I signed a $1.2 million record deal as this kid named Pretty Willie, fresh out of the University of Mississippi. But even then, when everybody else was acting up, I would not forget what that man said about me. He said that I was a king and my name would reign all across the world. So with a king, you got to understand that your reputation has to be intact. And I realized that my mama put her reputation on the line by adopting a young kid. And so I had to make sure that I kept my reputation good. Many of you right now, even though you're a king, when you go back to school for class of 2020, 2021, there's a teacher right now that's going to point you out because you've been typecast as bad, the tough kid, the kid who don't want to listen. If that's you, you ain't got to put your hand up or nothing, but you can just kind of do your eyebrows like this right here, right? But let me tell you something. You can go back into this school year, although it's going to be unique. You can go back in this school year knowing that you are a king and not accept the report of what that teacher and administrator used to say about you, right? So you can tweet, Instagram. This is going to make you look cool on Facebook and Instagram. But put this on Instagram, Facebook, and even slide it on your Snapchat. Just do it real quick. Like, just boom, boom. Put this on here. Tell them this. Repetition changes your reputation. Your repetition is going to change your reputation. Meaning you can do the right thing, but you got to do the right thing long enough so people can feel and see the change. So for me being a kid in the neighborhood, I grew up on the same street where the Bloods are. So when I walked outside, the Crips thought I was a Blood because I was on the same street. But after I became a track runner, an A student, and got a full ride scholarship to the University of Mississippi, even the Crips on the street was like, no, he ain't like them, bro. He different. He on something else. What am I telling you? Repetition changed the reputation of my whole street. Now, the same guys who are on my street, they're in my mentoring class, and I'm doing my best to pour into their children because I was able to make a cognitive decision to say, you know what? I'm not going to be like everybody else. I believe that there are future millionaires right here in here. Kid J, I got you, bro. I believe there's future millionaires right now in this mentoring thing. I believe there's radio hosts, there's entrepreneurs, there are people right now who are literally going to change the legacy and lineage of their family. But you got to make a decision today to either yield to the king that's on the inside of you or be impressed by the different people who faking on radio and television, pretending that they gangsters, but they totally not. I understand that pedigree. I get in here and I sit with so many people across this country and I realize that the images that they're putting out of African-American males is to make you believe that the only thing we can be are gangsters. But that's not the case. You can come from a bad spot, but you don't have to stay in a bad spot. What I understand is that a rose can come from the concrete. And I realize that I'm that rose. And I realize that you're that rose because there's a young man in my favorite book. He goes by the name of David. It was this guy by the name of Samuel who was coming to visit David because Samuel was pushed with the task of going to crown another king. When he walked into the house to find out who the next king was going to be, he seen all these amazing looking brothers and he was like, surely this one is king, this one is king. But then it was a young guy by the name of David on the outside. Like he's literally outside on the field. He didn't even get invited on the inside. He was getting it out the mud. But when Samuel saw David, the kid who was getting it out of the mud, he said, listen, I crown you as king. Why did he crown the guy who was getting it out the mud? Why did he get the guy who didn't get the luxuries that everybody else did? The reason why he did that is because if you can go through something early in your life, you can become the king a lot quicker, right? And although he was crowned at a very young age, he didn't get to the bag until he was 30 years old, right? So what am I telling you? It's going to take a lot longer than you think, right? It may take a lot longer than you think, and it's going to cost you a lot more than what you think. But the king that's on the inside of you will come to life. And no matter how long it takes, this moment, June 20th, 2020, I never want you to forget that a young guy who's been through the same thing that many of you have been through. I've been typecast. I've been looked over. I done came to this refrigerator right to the left. It's a different refrigerator now because we kind of remodeled. But I've come to that refrigerator on numerous occasions and looked around and thought to myself, wow, I wish there was some shrimp and steak in there. Real talk, and it wasn't in there. But I vowed to myself that everything that I do not have, I'm going to make sure that my mother and my father and everybody in this Moore legacy will experience some of the spoils of the world. Let me tell you why. Because that young man told me who I was at a young age. And if he said it, I can see it. And to that last person, Kid J, I'm coming right to you. To that last person who kind of say, man, you know what? I hear all these inspiring speeches. But man, I don't even believe that for me because, Will, you don't understand what I'm going through. Let me tell you something. You are absolutely right. I have no idea what you're going through. But it's up to you to believe what I see in you until you can believe it for yourself. There's a king on the inside of you. There's a king on the inside of you. There's a king on the inside of you that will not be hurt by a police officer. There's a king on the inside of you. that will not be influenced by these rappers who foolishly make you believe that you got to sell dope and act a fool to make money. It's people, I done made more money out of real estate than I made in entertainment, right? And all it took was just opening myself up and being exposed to different things, being honest, okay? I'm speaking to that king right now who dad may be locked away. I want to let you know without giving it to you, he still gave it to you. Don't just take the report of the bad things that he did. There was a time in his life when he was attempting to do the right thing. That's the part you hold on to. I'm talking to that young man right now who literally only has his mama. And every time you talk to your mama, you think to yourself, mama, can you please be quiet because you talk too long? But I want you to understand this. Mama's just doing her best because that man is not right there on their side, right? But I want you to listen to mama. Because the one thing I had to do is I had to listen to my mama. She didn't understand what I was going through, but I understood her heart. My prayer right now is that you don't hear what your mama say. Like, I don't want you to hear her voice, but I want you to hear her heart. Your mama working her ass off right now to make sure she keep them lights on. My mama worked her ass off to keep them lights on. And that's why she never got to worry about another bill in this house another day in her life. I came in and I told my mama, you never have to work again. My mama worked as a housekeeper. And I don't know if your mama got this great education, but I guarantee you there's some pressures because she's an African-American woman. There's some pressure that she got to go through. It's up to you, King, to take that pressure off your mama. I got tired of soaking my mama's feet in Epsom salt because she was cleaning up after doctors. You get tired. When they want to roll up and they want to smoke with you, you can't do it because your mama got pressure on her. You got to take that pressure off. I feel the stillness of the Lord now. You take that pressure off your mama. That's why I take all pressure off my mama, because she don't deserve that pressure. And if nobody else want to take that pressure off your mama, you take that pressure off your mama. But the good thing is, and you can put a smile on your face, is that God done already equipped you with everything that you need on the inside to take that pressure off your mama. And it starts right now. Going to class, getting there on time, getting your schoolwork done. You show me your friends, I show you your future. If you know they rolling up and you know you want to go to the NCAA and play ball, if you want to be the next biggest star, if you want to get your vending machine company going, that don't happen in the back of a building rolling up blunts. Don't add pressure to mama. Yield to that king on the inside of you and go out there and win on purpose because there's a king on the inside of you. Man, y'all got me emotional, man, and I got these little bitty shirts on, man. Y'all gonna make me look soft, bro, but I just love you so much. I think I cried last year when I get around y'all, man. Let me tell you something, young man. You know I've been where you been, bro. Like I literally been where you been. And so I get so passionate about it because I know you can win. Don't even be distracted by everything that's going on in the world. Is it true that there's some racial and systematic injustices that are in this world? Yes, but you ask the creator, is this my fight or is this somebody else to fight for me so I can say true to what I'm supposed to be doing? They call me, they say, Will, and I probably get in trouble for this. Will, you coming down to march? I'm like, no, I'm not coming down to march. I appreciate it. That's your call. I'm a mobilizer. You let me know the plan. I'll get the word out to 1.7 million people and I can mobilize a whole nation of people to move the way we need to move. In the meantime, I'm gonna stay true to my lane. Mr. Steve Harvey want me to come. I'm called to young people. I'll be here bright and early on my Sabbath. I don't even move on my Sabbath. I do nothing on my Sabbath. But this is so special to me that I felt like the creator would allow me to pour into you because guess what? This is giving me peace and I believe that I can do something and speak something in your life that could change your life forever. And preferably I've done so. I appreciate you, Kings. I'll take some questions now. Hey, Mom, I'm sorry. I got a little passionate talking about you. My mama right there.
I like to say, shoot, your passion is just like mine because as far as being different and where I'm from, all my boys like they just like to sell, and then I'm sitting there like, shoot, I want something different for myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel like I'm trapped in my own neighborhood just because I want to be like my boys or I want to be a follower. And I like what you said about as far as being a leader. I'm pretty close with my mom. My dad's in my life too. But I'm pretty close with my mom. My mom got pregnant with me at 15, had me at 16. Didn't nobody think she was going to graduate or nothing. And my mom graduated with a 4.0. My mom graduated with a 4.0, had me, and still went to college. My mom is a CNA right now. at the hospital around the corner from us. And that just motivates me because it'd be like, dang, she's been through that. What I've been through ain't nowhere near, you know, the pain that she didn't felt. So like, I feel like I got to get it out the mud and make this money for her. And then growing up, I had a lot of people who told me I couldn't do music because when I was younger, I had a very bad speech impediment. I used to stutter like every line, couldn't even get a line out. But but now that I rap, I got like 60K on Instagram. Finally got verified, opened up for T.I. and Jermaine Dupri. And now I just look back like, for those people who said I couldn't do it, what now? So, you know, I mean,
Jay, that's the shirt. What now?
Yeah.
I want you to go record. I want you to record that for me. They've been saying, what now? Yep.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we got to do that one. Hey,
Yes,
fellas,
sir.
listen, you ain't got to unmute yourself, but that What Now song coming through from Kid J, make sure you follow him. That What Now gonna be good. Kid J, do me a favor though. This is what I want you to do. I believe this. If you look at the immediate, you'll miss the ultimate, right? Like if we only focus on the immediate, we'll miss the ultimate. Right. I believe we overestimate what we can do in a year and we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. So 10 years from now, how old would you be?
31.
You'll be 31 years old. So
Yes,
I want you to literally write down what you want life to be at 31, right? So 31, I don't know, I want to be married. This is hypothetically. You might say, Will, listen, man, you married with all them kids. I don't want to do that. But if you say 31, I'll be married. I want to have this big a house. I want to have this much in my savings account. I would like to have this, like I would like to have a child, like whatever that is. And this is the type of house that I want my mom to live in. This is the type of status that I want to have so I can be able to do for my mom and my dad, right? So when I was 17 years old, when I was 20 years old, I wrote what I wanted to do at 30. When I was 30 years old, I wrote what I wanted to do at 40, right? And so now that I'm believe it or not, I'm 40 years old, I'm thinking about what I want to do at 50 years old. So the way I'm writing my 50 is now I look at my children. I have a 17-year-old, he'll be 27 years old. Right? So I wrote all that stuff down and now I'm living in my vision. And so the creator tells me through biblical teachings this. He said that he wants to do exceedingly abundantly above all I can ask or think. So he want to do all above all I can ask or think. So you got to think, you got to write down, and you got to ask, and then watch that thing blow up. So now you're working in a plan versus taking everything, right? So I want you to do that, all right?
Yes,
Proud
sir.
of you, bro. Proud of you, bro. Yep. Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yep.
Like I play music, I play the saxophone, I rap, piano, all that. But like me, I get scared a lot. So it's like I know what I do, but I like have a fear of like coming out with it.
Okay. Garrett, words. Like we got to get the words. So for me, I feel like I thought we was all together. I feel like we done went to the whole world. It's probably on YouTube, Facebook, and everything. Right? But the thing that I want you to understand, Garrett, is that we are products of our words. So you got to understand, right outside here is the neighborhood I grew up in. And don't get me wrong, through our efforts, we've been cleaning things up. But today, I sit in rooms with people like Steve Harvey. I sit in rooms with people like Ricky Smiley. I sit in rooms with presidents and CEOs of companies. Man, you do not realize how nervous and scared sometimes I am because I don't feel like I belong because I'm from the neighborhood. I don't speak like everybody else. I don't try to pretend like everybody else. I'm 100% who I am. So, Garrett, this is what I do. And I just did it before I got on here with you. I go in the mirror and I talk to myself. And I go in that mirror and I'm like, ooh, I'm nervous. They were like, they don't pay you. I tell myself, they don't pay you to be nervous. They don't pay you to be scared. You smart. And I just start saying great things about myself. You smart. You're intelligent. God's going to meet you at your expectation. You look good. And I just tell myself that. And then I end with these words. I am strong and mighty. 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 I am strong. And I say that about 10 times. And by the time I walk into that room, I got my shoulders back, my chin up. And even if I don't feel all strong and mighty, I told myself that so much that the fear alleviates the moment that I open up my mouth. And so, Garrett, I want you to start practicing a little bit with your self-talk and what you're believing about yourself. And I know that they don't put this on World Star, and this ain't on the Shade Room, but I want you to take this information and I want you to understand that you can speak those words out of your mouth and you believe what you say more than anybody else, right? So I want you to start speaking great things over your life. Yeah. Garrett, did that help a little bit?
And yes, sir. And I got a CD out with my band. It's called Yesterday is Today with my jazz band group.
Hold on one second. Yesterday
is Today.
And it's and what's the name of the band?
The Fame Jazz Band, FAME.
FAME Jazz Band. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Right,
I'm gonna check it out, bro. Is it on iTunes?
I think it should be on iTunes.
But you got CDs?
Yeah, CDs.
All right. So I try to purchase one of the CDs if you assign it for me.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right, no doubt. What's your Instagram so I can make sure I stay true to what I told you I would do?
It's at 2, the number 2.
Yeah.
FLYYY _JAYY.
JYYY?
JYY, 2 Y's.
Got it. 2LYY _JYY.
2FLYYY _JYY.
Oh, you think you too fly? Okay, I see what we did right there. Okay. You shy and talking about you fly? Okay, we're gonna talk about that. I'm following you on Instagram right now. We gonna get this shy away of you that fly. Let's do it. Right. Hey, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm gonna try to get this CD. Make sure you sign it for me though, because when you blow up, I want to be able to sell it on eBay 10 years from now and make that million.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm ready.
So can I speak?
Sure you can.
Okay. So first and foremost, before anything, I just gotta say you're a real one. You're a whole king. Like I'm sure everybody here.
Thank you, bro.
As for me, I ain't got to come up yet. I mean, personally, I think I'm a true king. I think I know what I want out of my life. I know that I'm very different from others. I ain't got the same goals. And while I have a lot of confidence, the thing is I have a hard time holding that confidence together. Like I'm willing to work as hard as I need to in order to achieve any goal that I want, especially a life goal that I've had since I was like a little kid. And everyone's been working so hard in my life. Like my sisters been sacrificing for me. They've been working like their whole lives for me. They've been trying to get me into like all kinds of different scholarships and all kinds of stuff. My mother had to get like 2 divorces and she'd been working her whole life just to take care of me. And I always appreciated it so much, right? So like I want to achieve something. I want to do something for her and I know I can do it. It's just like keeping my confidence together. It's like being so different and having those different thoughts compared to everybody else and coming from a different line. I want to know, how do you keep it together? How do you have that confidence in yourself to keep working hard to achieve that goal of yours?
You know what? The number one, I want to say congratulations and thank you so much for being transparent, right? I don't know what part of you that you feel is unique or different, but the part of me that I feel is unique and different is that I speak from the heart, right? So I'm a speaker. I get a chance to travel the world and I yield to my uniqueness. So the part of me that the teachers used to make fun of, he can get his work done, but he can't keep his mouth closed, right? Man, bro, you talk way too much, boy. I'm telling you, I ain't never been no snitch though, flat out, right? But I'll be honest with you. The very thing that people talked about is the skill set that I use today. And that's what I'm paid to do across the country. And so what I want you to do is I want you to lean into your difference and not feel inferior by your difference, right? So I leaned into my difference. I said I was gonna major in journalism when I was in high school. I ended up doing psychology because it was a pretty girl in college that I wanted to kind of follow her lead. My mama, it just sounded better for my mama to say, Willie's gonna be a lawyer instead of him being a doc, being on television, speaking, doing radio. However, just find out something that you want to do. Last thing I just want to tell you, bro, go with plan A, right? And now I don't want to go against parents because I'm sure they're in the other side of different cameras or whatever. But for my children, we have no plan B. Plan B comes out of plan A. So if I'm running track and field, like when I went and I won state as a 100-meter dash runner here, I think I won like 5-6 times with 4x2, 4x8 state champion. When I went to the University of Mississippi on a full ride scholarship, there was no plan B. Like when I was in high school, I'm like, I'm going to run track. And when I become the champion, I'll figure out what I'm going to do after that. So to every young man under the sound of my voice, this may be contrary to what you've been told, but I believe that plan B comes out of plan A. Case in point, in order for me to be at the University of Mississippi on a full ride scholarship, I had to get my academics up. So I left with a 3.333 GPA. I did what I had to do on my ACT. So I didn't have to focus on like, I got to do school. School was a part of plan A. When I did music, I had to learn business. You should know the business. I didn't focus on the business. I focused on the art. And once I got into the art, I learned the business. So just hone in on your difference and go wholeheartedly. Place all your energy towards your difference. And I think you'll win, bro. Indeed, indeed. I appreciate you, good brother. Let me know how it goes. Follow me at Willie Moore Jr. Live. I'm always inspiring people. Willie Moore Jr. Live. Make sure you come out at me.
Of course. Thanks, man.
My brother.
I just followed you and DM'd you.
Will, when there's a will, there's a way. And Will, you looking presidential over there. I'm over here. Look at these curtains, Will. Look at these curtains back here, Will. Huh? You look at your background. Look at my background, Will. You see that cute, pretty little fan you got, Will? I'm jealous.
Hey, Willie.
Yo.
I just followed you on the gram, man.
Man, I'm using that phone. This one don't have Instagram. This is my note phone. I'm gonna follow you back soon as I get off of this one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I followed you as well, Mr. Will.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Anybody else? Any more questions? Because I'm just gonna close this out. All right, good stuff. So let me answer this first question that someone gave me in the beginning. What in my heart and mind do I expect when I'm on the radio, and what do I want to give to people while I'm on the radio? All right. Let me see. I think we're 7 minutes over. So let me just say this. Follow me on Instagram real quick. Follow me on Instagram real quick. To the young man who asked me that question, what comes from the heart enters the heart. There's an ear in everybody's heart. The word heart, H-E-A-R-T. If you take out the H and the T, there's an ear, right? There's an ear in the heart. So speak from your heart. Don't fake. Whatever's in your heart reaches your heart. That's what I just gave you, okay? All right, that's what I just gave you. I gave you what was in my heart. Could somebody who's facilitating this let me know? Kick me off, because I can hang out with my little brothers all day.
Go ahead and give your closing remarks, Willie. Go ahead and give your closing remarks.
Indeed. So family, listen, preferably we had an amazingly good time. Can you put a thumbs up for me real quick if it was okay? If you got something from it? I'm just kind of going through the thing. Okay, cool. I'm loving the thumbs up. Okay, last thing, and I got to give you this. Because you are a king, in order to bring that king out, you can never forget your ABCs, okay? Because you are a king and you got to bring that king out, you can't forget your ABCs. Now, I'm way too cool to give you A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, that's an acronym. It's called Always Be Confident. Always be confident. When you get nervous, always be confident. When you're in class, always be confident. When you get in front of these CEOs, they may have more money than you, always be confident. They may have come up a lot better than you, although it seems God knew exactly where he wanted you to be. ABCs, always be confident. I'm Willie Moore Jr. Thank you to the mothers and the fathers who allowed you to be a part of this amazing experience. Shout out to the Steve Harvey Foundation page. I love you for the opportunity. Steve, we got to get together. Can't wait to play golf with you next week. Flat out.
Gentlemen, our next session is tied to greatness. If you have your necktie, have it ready. Go grab your necktie for a tie-tying session with Dr. Alex Ellis. Stand by. Take it away, Dr. Ellis.
What's up, fellas? This is Dr. Alex Ellis. It is an absolute pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. I want to make sure that there we go. I can see everybody. What's up, guys? Hey, listen, have you all been enjoying this virtual mentoring camp? Let me see some thumbs up. You've been enjoying, having a great time? All right, cool. So I didn't know how this was going to go since it was virtual and not live, but it seems that you guys are locked in. You're answering questions. You're getting involved, and that's absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to my brother Willie Moore Jr., who did an amazing job, and thanks to Mr. Steve Harvey and the foundation for having me back. It is awesome to be with you all. All right, so listen, for the next 30 minutes, this is about to get intense because we are about to discuss the power of your image. Let me ask you, I want to start by asking you a few questions. And so for the young men that I can see, I want to get some head nods, right? For the other guys I can't see, give me some thumbs up. How many of you would like to land a job making six figures, access to a corporate jet, a $25,000 signing bonus to do what you absolutely love to do? Let me see some hands. Let me see a show of hands. Let me see. Some head nods, some hand. All right, cool. All right, second question. How many of you would like to date and marry the girl of your dreams? I mean, she is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Everybody thinks she is just a bomb. I mean, beautiful hair, beautiful smile. She's smart, intelligent, and she is madly in love with you. Let me see some hands on that. Let me see some hands. Okay. All right, cool. So that's 2 for 2. Let's go to question number 3. How many of you would like to be connected? I mean, you're down, you're connected, you're close with some other guys that are making things happen. Like, you're not the only guy that has aspirations to start your own business. You're not the only one that wants to go to college. If we go out tonight, they can drive because they got a car. You don't have to always drive. You don't have to always foot the bill. But I mean, these guys are movers and shakers. How many of you want to be connected with some guys like that? Let me see a show of hands. All right, cool. So I'm pretty much 3 for 3. You guys have answered or responded in the affirmative for all of the questions that I've asked. And I want to teach you a principle today that's going to allow you to have success in all 3 of those areas. So that's success in your professional life, as far as achieving your dreams, goals, and ambitions. That's success in your romantic life, connecting with a significant other. And that's also success in your circle or your network, the people that you're connected with, that you roll with. And that is the importance and the power of your image. All right, so let's get right to it. Diallo, let's look at the screens real quick. All right, let's go to the next one. We're talking about being tied to greatness. So today I want to talk to you about the ABCs of image, right? So Willie Moore Jr. talked about ABCs, but these ABCs are just a little bit different, right? So the ABCs of image is your appearance, your behavior, and your communication, right? So if you take your notes, if you jot some things down, put some things in your phone, you want to put the ABCs of image consists of your appearance, your behavior, and your communication, right? So of course, when we talk about image, most of the time we think of your physical appearance, and it is your physical appearance. It's hygiene. It's maintaining your haircut. It's how you present yourself when you leave the house, how your physical aesthetic. That's an important part of your image. But we also want to talk about your behavior, how you conduct yourself when you're in public, right? So we're talking about being young kings, right? And so a young king behaves himself in a particular manner, right? So we're not out, turning up, cutting up, we're behaving ourselves in a manner that exemplifies dignity and class, right? That demands respect because we carry ourselves in a particular manner. And finally, communication, right? It's one thing for people to assume you don't know, but you don't want to open up your mouth and reveal that they are right. So you've got to be mindful and considerate of the words that are coming out of your mouths when you interact with other people. All right, let's get right to it. Let's go to the next slide. All right, So gentlemen, I need you to give me one word. Look at the screen. Look at the guy that's in the picture. I want you to give me one word that comes to mind when you see this picture. One word that comes to mind when you see this picture. All right, so D, let's go back to the guys.
Professional.
All right, cool. So Gavin, give me one word.
Black.
One more time.
Black.
Black. Okay, cool. That's pretty evident. Tyler, why don't you give me your word?
Clean.
Clean. Okay. Jay, up top. Jay, give me your word. Kid Jay.
Successful.
Successful. All right. Someone else in the chat said successful. Somebody else in the chat said classy. All right, Kevin, why don't you give me your word?
Sharp.
One more time.
Sharp.
Professional. Great. Someone else. Amari said professional as well. Give me William.
Suave.
Okay, so give me. All right, so William with the polo said suave. William with the red and black checker shirt. What's your word?
Confident.
Confident. All right, cool. Anthony, give me your word.
Fresh.
One more time, Anthony.
Looks fresh.
Fresh. All right.
Sharp.
Anyone else? Jaden, why don't you give me your
Sharp.
word? Jaden, unmute yourself.
Confident.
Confident. All right, did I get to everybody? Kevin, I got to you. Jay, Gavin. Okay, cool. All right, so listen. You guys use words like professional, confident, powerful, perfectionist, proud. So none of you guys know Sharp. None of you guys know who this gentleman is, right? This is a random picture that I pulled offline. And so although you don't know him personally, you don't know, we haven't had an interview with him, you haven't seen his resume, you haven't read his bio. So without knowing any of that information, how is it that you've come up with these words that describe not only how he looks, but even his character, right? You said words like professional. You said words like confident. You said words like a perfectionist, right? That's beyond just how his suit looked. But what did you use to come up with those traits or characteristics of this gentleman? Anthony.
Like the way he presented himself in the picture.
The way he presented himself. Right. William, with the red and black checkered shirt.
Presentation is important. He's clean, he is sharp, and his expression on his face shows that he's confident in what he does and how he acts.
Got it. Great. Kevin J.
The expression on his face, he looked professional and ready to work.
Got it. Okay, cool. So what you all have said, it just reaffirms the power of your image. Right? It's how he physically presented himself. And then this is another piece that I think is really cool, is that you said the expression on his face. So he wasn't mean mugging. and that's so true. Gentlemen, when you walk out of your house, when you're out in town, when you're moving, when you're going to the store, when you're at the mall, when you're, in professional settings, if you're at an event and you're meeting people and you're networking, you've got to be mindful of the expression on your face. Guys, hear me. It's okay to smile, right? You don't have to be looking all mean like, what you want? Like, come on, man. Ain't nobody trying to fight you, right? It's okay to smile. And I'm not saying that you got to go around just grinning all the time, but I am also saying that depending on your facial expression, sometimes that can cause people to feel that you're an open person, right? That you're a warm, welcoming person, or you're a person that I should keep my distance from because for some reason you don't seem real happy, right? So we want to make sure that we present the best of who we are to the world. So Mr. Steve Harvey, this foundation, myself, all of the speakers that have been speaking to you all weekend long, we believe you're going somewhere. Right? We believe that the dreams that you have, the aspirations that you have to become record producers and entrepreneurs and doctors and lawyers, attorneys, all of those incredible things, that those things are possible. But I've come to tell you today, gentlemen, you gotta dress for where you're going. And we believe you're going somewhere, and you are, it's time for you to level up, right? It's time for you to upgrade your wardrobe. Why? Because you're going somewhere. So check this out. Am I saying that you got to get rid of your sneakers, that you got to throw away your hoodies and your t-shirts? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is that you're at an age and a stage where your presentation is critically important, right? And so it's important that you expand your wardrobe. It's important that you realize the power of image, right? Because you never get a second time to make a first impression. And so you want to make sure that you're leaving a lasting first impression when you're meeting people. Let's go back to the slides real quick, and then we'll come back and answer some more questions. Let's go, D. All right, next slide. All right, so Jay-Z, arguably one of the greatest rappers that ever touched a mic. So Jay is on stage. Jay is doing his thing. The crowd of thousands, they are going crazy, right? So Jay is killing it. But when you see Jay on stage, what does Jay have on? Jay has on a hoodie. Jay has on a pair of jeans. Jay got on some gold chains, right? So Jay is doing his thing. I mean, the crowd is going, wow. The stadium is sold out for his concert tonight. But that's what Jay is wearing when he's performing on stage. So now if you look at the picture on your right, Jay is conducting business, more professional type of environment. And what does Jay have on? Does Jay still have on the hoodie and jeans and gold chains? Absolutely not. What does Jay have on? Jay has on a suit, a shirt, and a tie. Why? Because the international uniform, gentlemen, for professionalism as a man is a suit, shirt, and tie, right? And so when you see Jay walking into those business arenas or going into sign deals or all of those things, negotiations and all of that, Jay's not walking in looking like he looks on stage. Nothing wrong with what he has on when he's on stage, but gentlemen, there is a time and a place for everything. So what I'm trying to teach you today is that there is a time and a place for a hoodie and jeans, and then there's a time and a place for a suit, shirt, and tie, right? And so look at Jay. Jay has a line that I think is so cold. Jay says this. He says, I'm not a businessman. He says, I'm a business man. And so what does that mean? So Jay is saying, I'm not some dude that's just punching a clock, that's just reporting to work every day. But Jay is saying, I, as an individual, I have the capacity within myself to be a business man. So Jay is doing a phenomenal job, not just on stage as an artist, but now Jay has transitioned to that mogul status, right? So let's go back to the guys. Okay, cool. So in the Forbes 100 magazine cover was Jay-Z, and there was an older white gentleman named Warren Buffett. Did y'all see that? So it was Jay-Z on one side and there's Warren Buffett on the other side, right? So
Right.
let me discuss something with you. I need someone who has their phone. Let me see phones for those that are on the screen. Who has their phone? All right, Gavin, you got your phone? All right, Gavin, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to give me the net worth of Jay-Z. While he's doing that, Kevin J, I need you to get the net worth of Warren Buffett. So Kevin J, you hold on to that. Gavin,
I got it.
Gavin, you ready? Okay, Gavin, give it to me.
$1 billion.
Kevin J, hold on. Give it to me, Gavin.
$1 billion.
$1 billion. Right? So how many of you would agree that that's a heck of a lot of money, $1 billion, right? Right? So you would think like, man, listen, if I had $1 billion, if I'm a billionaire, man, can't nobody tell me nothing. Because most of the people that I know, nobody else has $1 billion like me. So, I mean, like, dude, he is paid. He doesn't have to worry about money for the rest of his life. His wife is taken care of. His kids are taken care of. They don't have to worry about, getting a loan to go to college. college tuition is just, man, whatever college in the world they want to go to, that's already paid for because he has that much money. But Jay, if you read the article, has a mentoring relationship with Warren Buffett. And so you would think, like, what's the connection? Like, Jay is black, clearly. Warren Buffett is white. Jay is young. Warren Buffett is a lot older. Jay is paid. He's a billionaire. Why in the world would Jay develop a mentoring relationship with Warren Buffett? Kevin J, give me the net worth of Warren Buffett.
71.5 billion.
Wait, say that again. How much?
71.5 billion.
71.5 billion is Warren Buffett's net worth. Unbelievable. So now you understand why Jay has a mentoring relationship with Warren Buffett. Why? Because there's levels to this thing, right? So there's some circles that Jay is in when Jay is on top. I mean, Jay is the man, like all hail Jay, all hail Hov, right? Because he's a billionaire, right? But then there are other circles that Jay is in where he got to sit down and take notes. Because when Warren Buffett walks in the room with over $71 billion, Jay's got to be the student and not the teacher.
Wait,
Why do I give this to you as an example? For several reasons. One, in the words of Kendrick Lamar, you got to be humble, right? So no matter how cold your bars are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how well you're doing in school, no matter how impressive you are in track, no matter how many points you make in a game tonight because you just hoop like that, right? But you can still learn from somebody else. So you've got to, young brothers, hear me, you've got to remain humble. Because wherever you are in life, as great as it might be, there are other people that are other levels that you can stand to learn from. And Jay-Z gives us a classic example of always remaining humble. Now watch this. That magazine article was done about 8 years ago. When that article was produced, watch this, Jay-Z was not a billionaire. Jay-Z was a millionaire. But as a result of being teachable, as a result of being humble, as a result of saying, I don't know everything, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to sit down and listen to somebody else. Hey, 8 years later, we look at Jay, and Jay now has billionaire status. Why? Because he was humble enough to learn from somebody else. And so I just want to encourage you guys, that it's important for you to remain humble, right? Let's go to the next screen, right? And so when Jay says, I'm not a businessman, but I'm a businessman, for you as young men, you're a business as well. So even at a young age, you've got to protect your brand. So when I'm talking about the importance and the power of image, right? I'm not just talking about your physical aesthetic, although I am, but that's not just it. But I'm also talking about how you present yourself online. I'm wondering, what does your Instagram look like? What's your IG look like? I'm wondering if I scroll through your Snap, what's your Snap look like, right? You've got to protect your brand, because just as people make assumptions about you based on how you look, people make assumptions about you based on your social media. Hey, D, take me to the next screen. Now, does your social media look like this? Right? So for Juneteenth, you was turning up with your boys and y'all was having a good time, or you was at the beach, or you was on the block doing your thing or whatever, or D, hit me one more time. Take me to the next slide. Or does your IG look like this? And so for some of you, I'm going to encourage you to go back through your social media, and you need to purge. Y'all remember the movie Purge? Right. Some of you need to do a purge of your social media, because there are some things that you are posting, there are some things that you're tweeting, some things that you're even texting that can come back to haunt you. So watch this. When interviewers are looking to potentially hire you for a position, guess what? They're not just
They're looking at your social media.
They're looking at your social media. Absolutely. And so
Exactly.
if your social media has, yo, that B better have my money, is yo, that in whatever, better do whatever. Like if you have that type of stuff on your social media, if you got social media pics like this with your middle finger up, if you got social media pictures with you smoking and drinking and just cutting up, then that's going to give a negative impression for the person that's considering hiring you or considering you for a scholarship or considering you for some incredible opportunity, right? And you don't want to, discredit the person that you really are, because you're really a good kid. You're really doing well in school. You really got some dreams and goals and some things that you want to accomplish, but you want to make sure that your social media lines up with where you want to go, right? How many of you want to go to college? Let me see a show of hands. Anybody want to go to college? How many of you want to own your own business? Anybody want to own your own business, right? Right. So a lot of you, how many of you have dreams, great aspirations, incredible things that you want to do with your life? Let me see some hands. All right, cool. So you got these incredible dreams and plans and all of that, and you don't want your social media creating a different narrative, right? But you control that based on what you post. And so I need you to really be discerning about what you post to make sure, hey, listen, some of these things aren't in line with where I'm trying to go, right? I saw your hand for that question, but we're gonna come. Well, you know what? Let me grab that right now. Go ahead, Chance. Is that you?
What is it? Yeah. Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you, Chance.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right. I had a question. What was Jay-Z's net worth again? Was it like 1 billion?
It's 1 billion.
Okay.
Gavin, what is it exactly? 1 billion and what?
It's just 1 billion.
Okay, so it's a 1 billion even.
Yep.
Hey, Dr.
All right.
Ellis,
okay.
Okay,
Dr.
let's go
Ellis,
back to the screens.
Thank you.
You got it, man.
Dr. Ellis,
Diallo,
you
let's
got
go back
about
to the
15 minutes.
screens. Our slides, I'm sorry. All right, cool. So let's get into this. Let's get into some fashion basics, right? All right, let's hit me with the next slide, D. Every gentleman should own a suit, right? Take me back to the guys. Guys, how many of you own a suit? Let me see some hands. How many of you own a suit? Okay, so that's about half of you on screen. And then I'm sure there are a ton of the other guys. Steven said he owns 4 suits. Okay, that's great, Steven. But there are a number of guys that are on this live that don't own suits. And I want to encourage you, if you don't own a suit, make that a priority. Listen, before you get another pair of J's, I need you to invest in a suit. Why? Well, Dr. Ellis, I don't even go nowhere to wear a suit. Well, we believe that opportunities are going to come your way. You know, we believe that situations are going to afford you a unique opportunity to wear a suit. And listen to me. Listen, hear what I'm saying. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready. Let me say that again. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready. So when an opportunity comes to you where, you know, one of the guys that were presenting, one of the gentlemen that have been presenting to you this weekend says, hey, listen, I love the question that you asked. Or I heard that you want to start your own business. Or I heard that you're a poet. Hey, listen, I got this event. I would love for you to come to this event with me. You don't want to be scrambling. Oh, mom, we got to go out and buy a suit. You know, I need some help. I got to put something together. No, if you stay ready, you never have to get ready. So young brothers, I want you to invest in a suit, right? And let me give you some guidance in what that suit should look like, right? So look at the colors. You have gray, you have navy blue, and you have black, right? These are some basic fundamental colors, gentlemen, that you need to have in your wardrobe. So if you're just starting and you're gonna get one suit, let that suit be a navy blue suit. Let that suit be a gray suit. Let that suit be a black suit. These are the basics. Now, for some of you, like Steven, he said he already has 4 suits, right? So I'm hoping that amongst the 4 that he has, that some of these basic categories or boxes are checked. But then if you want to go into some other things, hey, I want a tan suit, or it's the summertime, I want a white linen suit, and all that's cool, but you want to make sure you at least have these basics covered. All right, D, let's go to the next screen.
Can I add on to that before we move on, sir?
Sure you can, William.
I didn't get into suits until I started getting into Mardi Gras courts and stuff like that, and I started noticing that that they're expensive. Now I am president of an organization, and I'm very high in my community. Like, I have to wear suits a lot, and they can get expensive. But let me just give some advice. You can have like $20, $25 and go to Goodwill, or you can go, like, it's a lot of different type of thrift stores that's not just Goodwill. So and you can get like a nice suit. You can find somebody to tailor it, which means fit it custom to your body, and put it in the dry cleaners, and it'll look brand new. Nobody ever knows.
Right. Absolutely. Will. Yo, I was gonna say that. You beat me to the punch, but you are absolutely right. So let me help the mothers that might be in the room, that might be listening or sitting in with you. Hey, listen, if you're looking to purchase a suit for your son, right, you can always try stores like Men's Warehouse. That might be a little more expensive. You can go to Macy's, right? And this Father's Day weekend, they have great sales. You might be able to get a suit for, $99. There are other places that you can go that aren't super expensive. That K&G is another example. I was trying to left my mind there. But K&G, that's another great place that you can go. And for like $75, $80, you can get a suit. That's a really nice suit, right? And so those are 2 options. But let me also go back to William's suggestion, which is golden, right? If you go to a thrift store, if you go to, one of those like boutique stores that you find, but I would say I recommend that you go into a more affluent area. Don't go to Goodwill in the hood, right? But go to Goodwill, the more exclusive area of town. And if you do, like William said, man, you're able to find a suit, sometimes even a designer suit, man, that's incredible. That's worth a couple $100. You get that, you take it to the cleaners, get it clean, and get it altered to make sure it fits you properly. All right, and right here on the screen is that example. You see, this is a poorly fitted suit. This young man, his jacket is too big, his pants are too long. You see all of that excess fabric at the bottom of his pants. But then to the right of him is a properly fitted suit. So guys, you want to make sure, like William said, that you go to a tailor or go to a cleaners and have your suit altered, that it fits you properly, right? Not just your suit, but also your shirt. You should be able to take one finger and go around the collar of your shirt. So between your neck and the collar of the shirt, you should be able to fit one finger. Like with this, the little white kid, man, you could put your whole fist between the collar and his neck. So just like we're doing here with Drake, when you go into a store, ask them, hey, can you measure me for my shirt? You don't just go and say, oh, I'm a size medium, or I'm a size large, I'm a size small. No, when it comes
go by
to
sizes
shirts,
like numbers.
Right, they have size numbers. So they'll have a 15, 32, 33. A 15 and a half, 34, 35. So you want to make sure that when you go into a store, ask them to measure you so you can know what's the proper fit for that shirt. All right, let's move. Gentlemen, your shoes should always be shined. This is another detail of a distinguished gentleman, right? So now let me say this. That means you got to have a pair of dress shoes. So again, we're talking about upgrading our wardrobe, expanding what we have. Again, if you already have a suit, your next stop is to make sure that you have a pair of dress shoes, right? A pair of leather bottom, either black or brown, dress shoes, right? And those can, you know, they can be, they can be laced ups, they can be slip on, but they need to be a leather shoe, not with a rubber sole, but a hard bottom leather shoe. It's an investment, gentlemen, that you need to make into your wardrobe. And for some of you, you're going to be working summer jobs, or when your birthday comes around, or Christmas is coming up, you know, you want to tell, I don't want another game. I don't want the latest Fortnite, or I don't want another pair of sneakers. But start investing in your professional wardrobe. It's going to pay off. And you want to make sure, gentlemen, not that you just have a pair of shoes, but that your shoes are always shine. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about tie tying. Now take me back to the guys, Diallo, please. Guys, do you have your ties? Let me see some ties. Let me see ties. Y'all got ties? All right, cool. Kid Jay, I need you to untie your tie. I want to see you tie it. Because you kind of faking me out now, man. Your mom could have tied that for you. I want to see your skills. Come on, man. All right. So listen, how many of you know how to tie a tie? Let me see a show of hands. How many of you know? No? All right, that's about half of you on the screen. The other half don't know. But let me say this, just to get us started. If you are right-handed, I need you to take the wider part of your tie. This is the wider part of my tie. That should be on your right hand. If you're left-handed, you write with your left hand, then this wider part should be over on the left-hand side.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
We got a tie right here, but we also got another one that's a clip-on, like a.
Yeah, so we're not doing clip-ons. We're teaching you how to tie a tie.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, but she wanted me to. Yeah,
mom, we're not doing clip-ons. We're gonna do a demonstration with an authentic tie, because we want him. Clip-ons are for little kids. These are young men, and we want to make sure that they know how to hand tie a legitimate tie. All right, so guys, why don't you watch this video, and we'll come back and see how you did. I see you, mama. Follow the video. Follow along with the video, guys. I need you to follow along with the video.
I have a question.
Hold on 1 second. Let's follow along.
How to do it better with GQ. How to tie the perfect tie the right way. 1. Hang the tie over your neck. You'll want the fat side about twice as long as the narrow end. 2. Take the fat side and loop it over the narrow side. 3. Do it again. 4. Loop the fat end behind the new knot at your neck. Then take the tip and slide it through the hole you've created at the neck. Slide it in. Attaboy. And who said this was hard? 5. Pull the fat end to tighten the tie, but leave a little slack. 6. To add a dimple, put your index finger just under the loosely tied knot. 7. Tighten the tie as you usually do. Not too tight. Looking good. And that's it. That's all you need to watch about tying a tie for the rest of your life. Tip jars over there.
All right, so Khalik, you had a question.
You got a question? Okay. I want to ask, we don't really got a tie right now, but you know what you said, we invest in suits and stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to, find my own, trying to find my own job and stuff. And I'm young, I'm 14. I'm trying to grind and stuff,
Yeah.
Like my mom, she's a grinder,
All right, Mom.
Yes. So yeah, we get it from her, that's in my blood, it's she's raising me right now. So I don't really have a person in my life who, to show me how to tie a tie. But when I get one, I'm gonna take your advice, because you really doing it up right here, and I respect that, and all, and everything. And yeah.
I appreciate that. So Khalik, you don't have a tie, is that right?
Yeah, I don't have a tie, but
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna get one.
So Khalik, what I need you to do, I need you to hit me on Instagram, right? It's under Dr. Alex Ellis. I'm going to show it at the end, but it's Dr. Alex Ellis.
Okay.
Dr. Alex Ellis.
I can put that in right now. Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Dr. Alex Ellis. I'm going to show you the screen in just a minute, but it's Dr. Alex Ellis. If you hit me in the DMs, I will make sure that I send you a tie this week.
All right, thank you so much, man.
I saw now it said you and a Jamar. Is that your brother?
Oh yeah, that's
it's
me as
Jamar.
well. Yeah. Me,
All right.
yeah,
So does
yeah,
Jamar
we're
does
both-
Jamar have a tie?
My name is Jazir. Yeah, I'm also his brother as well. And yeah, I don't also have a tie as well or a suit. So me
Okay,
and my brother are both.
All right, cool. So what I'll do is I'll send you two. So I'll make sure that both of you get a tie.
That's very
Cool?
nice of you. Thank you so much, sir.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. All right, guys, let me see how you made out. Kid J, Gavin, Tyler, Jaden. Let me see. William. Hey, Kid J, what happened?
I don't know. You tell me.
Were you following the video?
Yeah, I was. I got lost after the first two loops. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, let me see. Kevin J, what's up, man? Where's your tie? I can't hear you, man.
I have a tie, but it's not with me right now.
Okay. All right. All right. Who else? William Coleman. How did you make out? Let me see, man.
I'm gonna be straight honest. I have a tie right here, another one, but I have one tie by like my sister. And I'll be honest, I was gonna untie it and then tie it again, but I have such a hassle untying this tie that I didn't even think it was worth the effort. So I need to practice. I'm just being transparent here.
Okay. I appreciate your transparency. And so what they're going to do, Steve Harvey Foundation, they're going to make sure that the video that I just showed to you guys, that you get an email with that video so that you'll be able to play that video if it went too fast, if you didn't get it quick enough. You know, hey, listen, normally we do this in person, right? So I'm on hand, all of Steve Harvey's frat brothers and all of his volunteers are on hand, and we help you physically walk through how to tie the tie. So if you didn't get it during that video, I'm gonna make sure that they send out an email so that all of you have access to that video and so that you can keep trying and keep trying and keep trying until you perfect it. Sure.
Just to everybody who may have not been able to tie the tie this moment or didn't know beforehand, I just want to say that don't worry so much about it, because learning this kind of stuff definitely is a process for a lot of kids, definitely a lot of young men. Like, not a lot of people are instantly going to know how to do this, how to do this. So you shouldn't really worry, because like getting a proper suit, making sure that you're presented well, it definitely comes with experience. So don't worry if you didn't get it this time. Just keep practicing in your spare time, look it up, make sure you get advice from others. Because like once you listen and learn this kind of stuff, it becomes a lot easier. And eventually it'll just become so easy that you don't have to worry about it. So just, don't worry about it.
Yeah, so don't, and again, just to echo something that William said, hey, listen, it is a process. Don't get overly frustrated. Don't give up. But you just like you do with anything else, just like you do with, practicing playing basketball or track or whatever it is, you keep at it. Tyler, I think you did pretty good, man.
Hey, Dr. Ellis, it's time to give your closing remarks. We got to wrap it up.
All right, cool. They're saying that I got to wrap it up. So let me say this, gentlemen, never underestimate the power of your image, right? I think you young men are absolutely incredible. It's so great to have an opportunity to meet you, right? But I want you to, hey, this is a process. You're on a journey, right? And so everything doesn't come overnight, but I want you to leave this session really taking your presentation much more seriously, right? Not to say that you didn't take it seriously now, but as being a young man with a dream, I want to make sure that you present the best of who you are to the world, right? So that means even when you're dressed casually. Okay, so here's the information. Here's all my information here. Facebook, Instagram, there's my website. Everything is under dralexellis.com. Everything
Thank
is
you,
there
sir.
under dralexellis.com.
Thank you, sir, for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you
Thank
have any
you.
questions that I didn't answer, D, if you'll take me back to the guy. So take a quick picture of, well, we changed the screen. But guys, listen, reach out to me if there were any questions that you didn't have a chance to get answered. All right, please take a quick picture of the screen.
I do not know how to screenshot.
Get your phone, do a
I
screenshot.
can't take a
Thank you,
screenshot.
Yalo. Do a
I can't.
screenshot real quick.
Oh, I'm right. Take a picture.
Yeah, I can.
All right, perfect. Right. So again, if there are any questions that you didn't get a chance to have asked, or if there is anyone that didn't have a tie, reach out to me on Instagram or reach out to me on Facebook, and I'll be sure to get one sent to you because we believe in you that much. We believe in your dreams and goals, and we believe that the best days for you are ahead of you. And we're behind you 110%. I hope that you benefited from this session. Did you learn something today that you didn't know prior to coming to the session? Did you enjoy it? Let me see some hands, thumbs up, hands. All right, cool, perfect. All right, it's been my absolute pleasure. I'm Dr. Alex Ellis. I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you at the top.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Moose, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Hey, all you guys. I don't know if you know who I am. My real name is Quinn Ojanaka, but I go by the moniker Moose. I'm a Impact Wrestling professional wrestler. Do you guys watch wrestling? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We hear you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm a professional wrestler for the company Impact Wrestling, and I was asked to join the Zoom chat to tell you my story of how I was brought up and my how I look at life and how I carry myself today. So just a brief bio about me. I graduated from Syracuse University, 4-year Letterman, and I graduated. I had got my bachelor's degree in child and family psychology. I got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in the 5th round of the 2006 NFL draft. And I played 7 years in the NFL, starting with the Atlanta Falcons, played with the New England Patriots, then with the Indianapolis Colts, and played my last year in 2012 with the St. Louis Rams. And then I decided to chase a long passion that I had since I was a little bit younger than you guys, 8 years old, of being a professional wrestler. And just telling you how I got into football. So I was brought up in a very rough neighborhood, Washington, D.C., southeast of Washington, D.C. And when I was brought up in DC, at this point, DC was named top five cities that had the most amount of violence in it. So my loving mother, she was very strict with me and my brothers, and we had a rule: after school, you couldn't go outside. So pretty much I was stuck in the house every day after school because my mom believed that the streets were wasn't safe enough for her kids to have social life. And I respect her for that because that made me the type of guy that I am. I have seen my older brothers. I've been in the car with my older brother when he has been held up at gunpoint and robbed. And that was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. But that's about my younger upbringing. But going back to professional wrestling is something I've loved. Me not being able to go outside as a young kid made me find this love for pro wrestling just by switching on television and watching guys like Ric Flair. Have you heard of him? Have you heard of guys like Macho Man, Hulk Hogan? These are all guys that I looked up to and wanted to be like when I was older. But because of the journey of life, obviously, and playing football, I had to put that love, that dream aside because I found a way that could benefit me and my family financially to set up things for the future for my kid. And you guys are very special because I wish when I was you guys' age, I had this foundation and this group chat, and I could talk to guys who've lived, been through life, have been through some of the struggles and success of life that could give me some tips and on or blueprint on how to live my life. So you guys are going to be very fortunate in life just because you're going through this program right now. And this is something I never had. So I commend Steve Harvey for starting this foundation and helping young men like you guys. But one thing I'm going to talk about is hard work and the mentality that you need to be successful in life. And then I'll leave it for questions, whatever questions you guys want to ask me. I'm one of those guys, I'm very passionate about anything I decide that I'm gonna do. And have you guys heard of the MMA fighter called Conor McGregor? And Conor McGregor says, he has a quote that he says that there is nothing like talent, it's all obsession. And I strongly believe that. I would pick a guy who has a hard working obsession than a guy who has all the talent in the world, because obsession is greater than talent. And I take that phrase to heart because I'm one of those guys that I knew I wanted to be a professional wrestler. Some might have said, oh man, Quinn, you have all the talent in the world to be a professional wrestler. You could be the greatest professional wrestler in the world with all your talents. But the thing is, talent doesn't give you anything. You have to do the work. You have to go to the gym every single day and work on your toolbox and work on your skills. And you have to study film of great wrestlers before you to see how they did the things that they did. And that same thing with football or basketball or whatever sports you guys, or just anything in general. If you want to be engineer, you have to put the work on being the best engineer out there, and your talent is just not going to cut it. So I'm big on obsession. I'm a very obsessed person when it comes to anything I put my hands on or anything, whatever endeavors I have or whatever job I'm going to do. I'm very obsessed because I want to be respected and I want to be known as the best for doing anything I put my hands on it. Because I do everything not because of money. Money isn't important to me. Does money help my situation? Yes, it does, but it's not important to me. What's more important to me than money is the respect of my peers. Is when I'm not in the room, what will my peers say about me, about my work ethic, about the job I just did? That's why I work, because of respect for my peers. Um, so yeah, like whatever you guys have in mind that you want to be when you get older, or whatever dreams that you have that you want to accomplish, or whatever goals that you have set in life, the one thing I would say, be obsessed about it. Find ways every day when you wake up to find out, how can I make that goal become successful? How can I become the best engineer? How can I become the best doctor? How can I become the best wrestler? How can I become the best basketball player? How can I become the best offensive lineman? Whatever goals that you guys have and you want to be successful in that goals, you have to pick something every day to obsess about, that you're going to fix, that will help you get there. So now the floor's on you guys. Whatever questions you want to ask me, go ahead and ask.
How did you get interested in wrestling?
How did I get introduced in wrestling? When I was, after the last team I played for, which was the St. Louis Rams. I lived in Atlanta, Georgia at the time, and I went on the internet. I went on Google and searched professional wrestling school close by, and 4 of them popped up. And I did my research to see who was the coach at the schools and how far they were from my house that I was living at the time, and I picked the closest one because obviously I didn't know any of the 4 guys who were the coaches. So to me, it was just important that if I'm going to be doing this and going to school every day to learn how to be a wrestler, I should pick the one that's closest to home, so it's not a long commute.
Okay.
I have a question.
All right.
So I very much relate to you in obsessing over something that you very much care about, especially because I think both of our goals are very similar. But I'm curious if you ever doubted yourself. Like you had a passion that you absolutely loved, but you ever doubt yourself about school or maybe being able to be a wrestler? And if you did, how did you get over it?
That's a very good question. With me personally, doubt is not in my vocabulary. I don't use doubt. I'm one of the most confident person that you will ever meet. And I do feel that there's a thin line between confidence and being cocky. And I'm not cocky, I'm just very confident. Like I said, doubt is not my vocabulary. I never doubt myself. If I tell myself I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna put 110 effort to whatever that thing I'm gonna do is, and I'm gonna do it. I never go in the game doubting that I'm not gonna do my job. I never played one game in the NFL where when the game started, I had doubt that I wasn't able to block whoever was lined up against me. When I go to work and they tell me, hey, you're wrestling Eddie Edwards tomorrow, I have no doubt in my mind that me and Eddie Edwards is gonna have the best match of the whole card. It's confidence. Like I'm a very confident person, and just for me personally, doubt doesn't live in my vocabularies. And in fact, I did a camp this week with my wife, football/volleyball camp, and the key word of the week was confidence, because through confidence, everything is possible.
All right, thank you.
All right, questions? Don't be shy now. I know you guys got questions. Go ahead, ask them.
there are no more questions, Moose, you can give your final remarks before we close out.
It's just a question for everybody. I want everybody to individually tell me what their goals are for the future, or what they would like to pursue.
I gotta go.
Yeah, let's hear it.
My goal is to, I had a couple of, I didn't want to have like one job, I had a dream job. Like I wanted to be in the performance business, like acting, but I didn't want that to be my only, I have backup job. Like I have backup, I want to have a business, entrepreneur. I want to, do stuff like that. I want to get into investments and get into marketing and any type of affiliate marketing I can get into. I want to be a businessman and get the money from that. And I want to help when I grow up. I wanted to help other Black kids that go through the same stuff that I go through, or I want to help Black kids who think that they're not gonna make it out the hood or think they're gonna be poor forever. And yeah, that's my main goal. That's what I want to do. I want to help people who look like me. I'm not just saying I'm not trying to single out everybody, but I want to help people who look like me. That's what I want to do.
And that's a good goal. And I hope you really, when the time is right, find all the tools and do all the research that can help you reach those goals.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
One of my goals.
You can go.
Okay. One of my goals is to go to college completely debt free, and to get my friends or there's other people in my community into college debt free. I'm really big on community service, grades, anything that'll take somebody to the next level. So I started a program called 227, and basically what we do is we go around in the community and we create our own service projects. So that'll give us something that we can talk about on our college essays, something that we're passionate about that we did in the community. And then it also gives us experience in the real world, like meeting new people and networking. And we just do stuff like that. So one of my goals is to get me and everybody else in that program into college debt free.
That's awesome. How old are you?
17. I'm 17.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. That's amazing that you have your own outreach program and you're helping out. So I commend you for that.
Thank you.
I got a goal.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm definitely not there yet, and compared to everybody else, it definitely is a lot crazier. But I don't really try and worry about that kind of stuff. I have two really big goals because I have a lot of them. One of them is a personal goal to become one of the world's best fighters. I want to be a martial artist, and I want to help all kinds of people with fighting because I've always loved it. Like my entire life, I've always researched martial arts and all kinds of fighters and techniques, and I want to one day help the world by showing them the fighting's not just punching and kicking, but that it can make the world better. It can make people better. And I also want to go to college. I want to travel the world one day. I want to learn as much as I possibly can about the world so I can help out a bunch of people, not just Blacks or whites, just everybody I can. Because I think everybody deserves a little bit of help in their life. Everybody has a dream, and if I can be a part of their life and help them a little bit, that makes me happy. So those are my two big goals.
Well, one thing I'll say, don't ever be ashamed of whatever your goal is. Because I remember when I was in high school and I would tell friends, I want to be a professional wrestler. And my friends would laugh at me and be like, you're stupid. Why a professional wrestler? That's so dumb. But that's what your goal is. Like, don't ever be ashamed and to tell people or to have a goal and chase that goal, because that's what you want to do, and nobody should ever make fun of you for that. Like, just like I have a 10-year-old son, and I talk to him all the time, and when we'll have conversations, I'll be like, King, what do you want to be when you get older? And his answer literally is, I want to be the guy who tests out video games. before they're sold. And hey, that's his goal. That's what he loves to do. Like, well, what kind of guy would I be? It'd be like, oh, that's a dumb goal. You should pick something else. That's his dream. I'm big on whatever your dream is, as long as it's bringing positive vibes to the world. There's nothing wrong with it. So commend you for those two things, man.
All right, thank you.
Hi. One of my big personal goals that I really want to do when I get older is I want to be like an animator, or I want to create graphic novels, comic books and stuff like that.
Right.
But one of my big hindrances was like, actually getting out there and doing it, Because I've heard that like there are a lot of people who are like my age, I'm like 18, or a little older, a little younger, who've been out there and they've been able to do it. I just haven't really gotten there yet. Kind of weird. I'm not really sure where to start, but that's one of the big things that I really want to do.
I'll say this about where to start. The internet is your best friend when she comes to that. Any resource you need or information you need about how to start with anything, Google. That's how I became a wrestler, or that's how I started my journey for being a wrestler. I had no idea what steps to take. Like, I didn't know, how do I become a wrestler? How did Macho Man become a wrestler? I just typed in Google, how do I become a professional wrestler? And the first thing that came up was find a wrestling school, or here's all these wrestling schools. So Google is your best friend, man. And honestly, about being an animator, I'm a big comic book nerd. Big comic book nerd is biggest comic book nerd you probably ever meet. So I 100% appreciate those goals, bro.
Can I also add on to that a little bit? Apologies to bother, but if you're looking to be an animator, there's a ton of resources out there. I have a lot of friends who also want to be animators. There's a ton of websites, videos, just everything you could need. Look it up on Google, look up animation websites, look it up on YouTube, because like you'll find at least like at the bare minimum, like 40 or 50 videos that are really good. And you'll have a lot of people who want to help you out. There are places you can talk to people about it. So, there's just so much on the internet, especially for animation. So don't think that's definitely not possible.
Very true.
One of my goals is to basically get my mom out of where we live at, be able to like buy her a house, buy her a car, and for her not to have to worry about money or like food or anything like that.
Yeah, what ways are you gonna do that? That's a good goal. That's always a good goal, to take care of our parents, right? But what avenue are you gonna take to get to that goal?
Well, first, like starting off graduating high school, getting a scholarship to college, getting my degree, and trying to find different ways to make money and help people.
Is there anything that like you inspired to be, like any dreams or?
Well, I play music, so I want to be a musician. I play basketball too, so like basketball. So I like a lot of things. I'm not like focused on like one way to get somewhere. I have like different things I could do to like make it to where I want to be at.
Man, that's good, because I mean, like, I know it's very cliche. You never want to put all your marbles in one basket. So it's always good to have different avenues of things you want to try out. Maybe I should see how good I could be if I wanted to do this. But my only thing with that is, whatever avenue you do decide, or maybe you want to try everything out, just put 110% in everything that you do. All right, cool.
Over.
Moose, please make your closing remarks.
Thanks for having me. Hopefully you guys learned something from my experience or in what I had to share, and hopefully I get invited back. I mean, I love these. I love this. Like I said, I wish I had something like this or opportunities like this as a young kid. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Moose. Is there a way we can reach out to you?
Oh yeah. I'll give you guys my email.
Okay.
Yeah, because Me
I don't
being
know how to. I don't know how to screenshot it in on the screen, but I'll give it to you. It's Moose, MOOSE, Nation, NATION, 69@gmail.com. And please, any question you guys have, any resources you need, just send me an email and let me know you guys are from the Steve Harvey group, and I will respond. I do get a lot of fan emails on there, so sometimes I don't respond to fan emails, but just let me know that you're from this group and I will 110% respond.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Repeat your email one time.
It's moosenation69@gmail.com.
This concludes today's program. Remember tomorrow at 10 a.m. Please join Mr. Harvey for a special Father's Day message with special guest Anthony Hamilton.
Can you say it again? We cannot hear you.
What, my email?
The screen is
she
playing the
said
music.
My email
Yeah,
is moosenation69@gmail.com.
Guys, the announcement was this was the last session of the day. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. for our final day, special Father's Day session. Mr. Harvey will be back with us, also with special celebrity guest Anthony Hamilton. See everybody tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern.